YouTube, good morning. Welcome back to another live session. Welcome back to another beautiful day in the markets. It's 9:19 a.m. On a beautiful Friday here in New Jersey, right? We got a bit of an overcast. It's a little cold outside, which means it's perfect to be inside and trading. So, we got a couple of stocks on our watch list today. Hopefully you guys did well yesterday. Hopefully you guys were able to see some good trades. Right, coming into this new day, let's jump right into that watch list. I'll post it here to the stream, and we'll start going through one by one. Just a couple of stocks. Let me copy and paste it over here. There we go. Couple of stocks, right? Couple of stocks. The good thing is, you guys know, since I don't really trade pre-market like that, I kind of like when pre-market is just subtle, slow. So for me, it's always a good indicator that the open will be very strong. So let's go through in alphabetical order, right? AVCT, the first stock on the list, AVCT. This one is up 20% with 21 million shares of volume. If we look at the daily chart, we'll start left, come over. It's not looking bad. It's curling up off the lows, really high volume. When we look at this range that we're in, where can we fill some gap, right? We can fill some gap up to this 200 EMA, which is at $4. Right now we're at 231. So we could curl up nicely here in this range, and I would say maybe like 350 would be a level to watch for some resistance if we get over this bit of a range. Not bad for AVCT. It's looking pretty decent here. But it is a cheap stock, right, compared to the ones we're known to be trading, right? Let's say $5, $10, $15. So if AVCT does start to move up, I do want to be careful. I do want to make sure the setup looks good before I go long, right? A quality trades as usual. So our daily chart is implying room to the upside if it has enough strength to start a bit of a push. We could see a move to 4. That's good. Pre-market 5-minute chart. All right, if we look here, well, actually, let's take a look at this on Thinkorswim, where pre-market will start a little earlier. So it's not looking bad, right? It's definitely not looking bad. In a good movement yesterday into after hours. Today we're up a little bit and still sideways. Can we get back over the pre-market highs of 250 and then break of 269? Looks pretty interesting. We can start to move up from there. So first stock not looking bad, just a little cheap. We'll have to, of course, proceed with caution as usual. Tab, what's up? James, what's going on, guys? So moving on to stock number 2, CNTX. CNTX. This one is up 17%. Daily chart not looking bad. It's in this range where we're seeing a bit of a like we could have blue skies, right? We could have blue skies. This might be the one. We've been seeing these daily charts taking off. We're at 733 right now. We've pulled back a lot though. We had a high of 984 and high of pre-market. Well, all-time highs, right? All-time highs, what I'm trying to say, is at 1087. So can we get up there to 1087? If we do, we zoom out and we start looking like this, you know, how far can we go? Can we get to 12, 15, 17? So this one should be interesting. That's CNTX. CNTX. And by the way, AVCT had 68 million shares outstanding. The float on that one might be slightly higher. CNTX, shares outstanding at 10 million, so we know the float on this one is pretty light, which is good. Looking at our pre-market chart, we definitely want to see a red to green. Right now, we are pulling back versus the move that we had in after hours. So can we find a bottom and give a red to green? 750, 850, and make our way back up there to those higher levels. So CNTX, not looking bad. Moving on, EFOI, familiar stock, right? Former runner. We traded this one a few days ago. EFOI. So we had the first daily candle make the new high, right? We're basically finding support at the 200 EMA. First daily candle at 389 to make a new high. We had to push all the way to 528. So as we zoom out, right now we of course want to retake key levels at 442 and of course 466. But if this one wants to be strong, if we get back above 5, can we get over 540 left and up, right? 540, 570. We'll have candles that we're coming into, so it could be, we could see more resistance than usual, right? This is why we, of course, like the stocks to be, once again, in the blue sky zone. If we're above this level here, it starts to look better. We can move a little bit more freely to the upside, right? But for now, pulling back, it's pulling back a little bit, and we have to watch out for possible resistance along the way. So EFOI is one that I'm going to have to be very careful with. If it does start to move, I want to be sure that we're seeing a good volume, right, on an A quality setup if I look to take a scalp trade or something. Other than that, I might not want to be holding too long in the trade. CCNC's been hitting the scans here. Let me see. Pretty cheap, though. I hate, I kind of don't like saying pretty cheap, but it's just that we're not really seeing much in this price range. So, this one's at 125. We'll see if it continues to curl. It's hitting the scans. Last but not least, ISIG. This one's been paying us pretty well the last couple of days, ISIG. And today, once again, it's curling back up off those lows. If we zoom out here on the chart, we're curling back up. So it's very unusual to see a stock like this give these kinds of green days. So in terms of just consecutive green days, right? Usually we take like for example, if we look at the 7th, we had a doji, a red candle, like a day of rest before we had the new high. That's what it usually, that's how it usually happens. So to expect this to break 35 today, would really, if it happens, it would really prove that we're in a really strong market. But I don't want to be having my expectations too high to that point where I'm holding super long and, let's say looking for a $5 share move. Still want to have that approach of quick trades if this one does take off. And I got to be very careful about the spread and slippage and that kind of thing as the price continues to get higher. We saw a couple of trades yesterday. That was a little crazy. So that's the watch list. All right, ISIG, this one is up 13%, 1.9 million shares of volume. And we know the float is on the lower side, right? 1 million shares outstanding. Today, as I'm going to transition now into the opening statements, it's another beautiful day in the markets. I'm coming in. I'm looking forward to doing my best when it comes to managing risk. How can I continue to manage my risk well, right? That's one of the key questions I'll ask myself. And for me, that's cutting losses fast. That's number one. Cutting losses and taking good entries, right? Doing good analysis for those trades off the lows to where I can get in pretty close to the bottom, whether it's off of moving averages, trend lines, VWAP, double bottom, triple bottoms, whatever the case might be, off of those key support levels to ride the momentum back up and have good trades, right? The scalp trades, breakout or bailout, if we're hesitating and they're taking too long, I need to be back out of the trade. As a 2-minute warning, it's going to go off here. There we go. So yeah, it's another beautiful day. I'm looking forward to the momentum that we're gonna get. I'm looking forward to doing well in the areas where we're gonna see things be a little bit more challenging, because almost every day we have to make some tough decisions and we have to do our best real time with the information that the market is providing to us. So that's what I'm looking forward to here. Another beautiful day once again. Let's pull up the level 2. Let's get ready to rock and roll. It's been a slow pre-market. Yesterday we had IINN, which was ripping and ripping. And so today I expect a good open, right? A good start. Can we see some good gap and goes or some good green candles to get us going here right out of the gates? In terms of stock to watch, I'm not sure, right? Out of the watch list, I'm not too sure. CCNC, by the way, pushed up a little bit more to a high of 40. But in terms of stocks to watch, I'm not sure. I'll rotate through, and whichever one starts to take off first, that's the one I'll be willing to trade. If AVCT ends up moving, I want to use at least 2,000 shares, maybe 2,500 shares in this one, because it's really cheap. Usually when they're cheaper, we have tighter spreads. And of course, if the risk to the downside is limited, I do want to size up a little bit more. So with that being said, let's get ready to rock and roll. No need to feel nervous. No need to feel any kind of way, right? And with 19 seconds to go, let's trade smart. Let's trade setups. Let's do what we know how to. Let's do what we know how to do. Let's stay disciplined. Let's follow those rules that we have for ourselves. So CNC, we'll see how that one does. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll put it on the watch list since it's moving up. Marcelo had a pretty good poem there. I'll see if I can't read that pretty soon. All right. When the momentum starts to slow down, I'll go back and find it. A pretty good poem. So, dream big. What's going on? You know, just trying to make my way, man. Just trying to make my way. So AVCT a little sideways. We got a green candle going. All right. How's it going to do over 37 right here? There's 28. We're dipping down a little bit. I do want to use about 2,000 shares on this particular stock if it does start to move. If it gets over 40 and it holds above 40, I might be long. We're pushing 31. One more minute here before things get a little bit more smooth with Thinkorswim. CNTX, red candle, not quite. ISIG pulling back. So a bit of a slower start, right? Bit of a slower start. Patience definitely going to be the key. Waiting around for that A quality setup, A quality stock. That will be the key. See, the thing is, CCNC, it's the daily chart just does not look good. It's been selling off. I mean, it's curling up at good volume, and I don't see any news, so I'm not sure why it's even curling up. This one will be hard to trust. AVCT is back down. EFOI is also down. And ISIG is down as well. So slow start to the day, paying attention to the scans. We'll see if we get anything else that starts to move higher. CNTX. Let's keep rotating through. Right, this is the type of start we had. This is what we saw on Monday, right? I mean, we're only 3 minutes in. It's pretty early, but Monday we had 2 hours of slow momentum, and until 12 p.m. then things started to go crazy, right? With ISIG and some of the other stocks. Yeah, VYNE I see on the scans here. Doesn't look bad. Daily chart has room. Shares float slightly higher, VYNE, but we'll see. If there's enough volume, it could do something, but that's what I would really be waiting for, is a big volume spike. Over 70 looks okay. Volume is really high. Could get long with a pretty tight backstop, but we'll see if that opens up. Don't want to be too aggressive to start if the momentum is going to be slow. The first 1 minute candle to make a new high would be at 65. So if volume is really high over 65, we start to see 70, 75. Maybe there could be something here for a possible push up to $2. Okay. I'll take 67 with a tight stop at 64. We'll see if it continues to push. There's some sellers up here though, so let's see. A little sideways and not seeing green. 68. The float on this one, let me check the float on this one. VYNE 53. Whenever the float is a little higher, we could have issues if volume is not super aggressive, right? There's 69. It's pushing, but seems like a bit of a grinder, right? Float is checking in at 51.81, so not quite. We'll hold off on that. AVCT still down. CCNC not much. CNTX. CNTX, maybe we see a red to green, right? It's possible. It is possible here on this one. ISIG, EFOI, both not looking good. So once again, still waiting. CNTX, we would want to see a double bottom at 7. But it's not a trade I would take off the lows because the charting doesn't look super strong. But I could see people liking it, and maybe it does find some support. I would like 732, where we have the pivot. First 1 minute candle is at 18 to make the new high. Lows of 05, lows of 08, lows of 707. So a good triple bottom down there. Over 18. Let's see how if the volume is high. We could see the move start to happen right here from 718 if volume is high enough. IINN is getting called out. Watching CNTX right here. Let's see if volume gets in over 18. Seeing some small buyers, but nothing impressive as of yet. I think it has the potential, so let's see. Still keeping an eye on it here. Will we continue to hold the lows? There's 702. Not quite. Down to 93. So we're going to break below those lows and push a little bit lower. No bueno. So definitely a bit of a slow start. IINN. IINN. The daily chart is not looking good. For this one, we'll need to be back at like 550, which is $1 share. ENSC. Same thing with this one. It's like it's curling up, but I'm not too sure about this charting. It's red on the day as well, so a lot of people might not notice it. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, right? The goal today will be 180 likes. Can we get up there to 180 likes? Not seeing anything that I'm impressed with at the moment. Took one flat trade. BFRI moving up here. A little late though. The entry was at 65. BFRI curling up a little bit. Volume is light though. Pulling back. First 1 minute candle to make the new highs at 83. for BFRI. The daily breakout here looks interesting. Let's see. I'll give it a shot. 75. Are we gonna rip over the level of 80? There's some green. 88, 90. I'll get out at 83. 10,000 share seller at 90. Can we break? If it wants to break 6, I don't mind. There we go. There's some green. BFRI. Waiting. Can we break and hold? Can we hold? Can we hold? Can we dip? Well, 95 on the bids. Not quite. We got a high of 14. BFRI. It's fighting here. Will we see the retest of the highs? I'll take a scratch trade. Can we hold above 10? It seems like it's fighting, but do we have enough volume though? Not quite. You know, the entry that I took there at 75, I wanted to hold for the break of 6, but we had that 10,000 share seller, gave it a chance to break. We kind of were just hitting the level. BFRI, the daily chart, is implying room right now to 658. Can we hold 610 on the bids? Here's volume again. Can we hold above 10 right here? 8, 7, 9. Okay. All right. A little bit of a undershoot or overshoot. I'm watching it get back in. I'll take the long at 26, a little higher up than I would have wanted. Yeah. Alright, we'll watch for a pullback. A little higher up than I would have wanted there. Seems like it might need a pullback. Whenever they start to move and we do hold a high, I always look to get back in case we start to open up right properly. Decent push though, but not quite. Not quite. Volume is pretty high now. I prefer to see a red candle or two at this point, but there's room to 58. Let's see how it continues to do. So not the best start, right? But I feel like the trades right there are a little tricky. I want to see a nice pullback here. Can we get a nice pullback? There's 38 for the highs. 40, 45, 48. Will we start to open up again? We got a high now of 50. Break and hold of 50. 46 on the bids. 41. Not quite. It's kind of just grinding higher. It's not really opening up very strongly, but you know, we're also not dipping down. So it's kind of just grinding up higher. So these kinds of stocks are also good if you get a good cost basis and you hold longer. For example, if I'm in at 75 and I'm still holding, you know, it's a really good trade. But for the scalps, we're kind of a little sideways. So waiting for a pullback, we'll see. Can we see a good pullback? 2 to 3 red candles on the one wouldn't be bad. 5-minute chart looking pretty good. This one I was pretty aggressive to start towards because the daily chart was not looking bad at over 65. There's room to 58. We broke 58. We had a high of 60. So if we pull back and curl up nicely again, We could see 736 as the next level. Lows of the current candle is 25. If we get a double bottom on the next 1 minute candle towards 25, I think I take the long. I think it's a little too early for it though right here. First 1 minute candle at 50. There's sellers at 54. It's fighting. I would really prefer to see 2 to 3 red candles. See how the volume there wasn't as convincing? It's like for the 1 minute candle here to make the new high, we should have ripped through high of day. But even I am not really looking to buy 50 right there. It's a little too high. You know, I wanted to see a double bottom 25 for an entry. So now we're having another red candle. And if this is going to be a 5 minute pullback, I would say maybe $6. Which would be below VWAP though. Or maybe, yeah, maybe it's a low of 620. There's 10. We got a low of 10. 9. 8, 7. Low of about 07. I don't like taking the dip on the first drop. I like to see like a double bottom. Because a lot of the times I realize if I do get long, let's say like 608 right there, you know, I'm not sure how low it's gonna go. Let's say we pull back to like 95, I'll be forced to stop out of the trade. So right here, if we do see a double bottom or so, I definitely like it. Good recovery so far. $3.94. It's having a hard time. I'm watching here though. It's having a hard time. Two minutes to the new candle. I'll take it here. I'll take 96. I'll watch 86, about a 10-cent stop. We'll see. Selling pressure's coming in still. The candle on the 5 is a pretty good sized candle. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. It's a little hard to tell because of how big the candle is. The volume isn't too bad. It's still half the volume. Probably could have held that position longer too. Time. There's 1 minute to the new 5 minute candle. Right here is where I would want to see it starting to curl right back up. If not, we're probably going to come down. Lows of 86 and 87. I might get back in depending on how it holds again if it comes down. If we hit 87 and it holds again, I think I like it to get back in. But volume is getting higher, though. We're not curling up as of yet. This one is a trickier one. The new 5-minute candle is going to be here in 5 seconds, and we're opening on the lows, which I don't usually like. So watching, waiting. Is it going to hold here? Are we going to hold? Take the entry up higher at 11. I'm going to stop at 4. So let's see if it holds and continues to push. Will we see a good red to green? I'm in pretty high, so want to be careful. This more so of a scalp trade. Not looking to hold super long, but watching about 25 or so for profits. What is it going to be? Seeing buyers at 10. Watching. Not quite. So I'll take a 10-cent loss there. Coming out at 01. I think it was worth the shot for the red to green, though, but not quite. So I'm down 270 there. Of course, I'm bigger size, so not too bad. Losing about 16 cents total throughout the 3 or 4 trades there. Well, 2 trades off the lows. IINN is getting called out. Take a look at that one. Okay. Okay. All right. 1,500 shares for resumption would be a little too hot, too much size though. Let me check the resumption time here quickly. We got halted at 9:51 and 9:51 and 11 seconds. So in exactly 5 minutes from that time, which would be 56 and 11 seconds, we should see resumption. But we've seen this happen on ISIG where it was a bit of an inside candle and then curled all the way through the highs. Will that happen on this one? I would say probably. I want to say probably not, as like my better judgment. But I mean, we'll see. We can always react real time to what we get. So first stock that I'm going to be a little bit aggressive on, BFRI. Not too good with the scalp trades. Probably could have seen a little 170 at least, I would say. But we took a good amount of trades there. 4 scalp trades, 2 trades off the lows. 6 trades total, but not quite getting to see the results there. I think the red to green trade up at 610 was worth it though, because if we did open up a little bit to 25.30, wouldn't have been bad. Wasn't looking to risk more than 5 to 10 cents there. So I'm in at 10, well, in at 11, out at 01. AVCT red to green. Okay. So we had high of day at 237. We got a high of 255. We pulled back. This is a nice pullback right here. So over 45, high of 65. So a good 20 cents. Not bad. Not bad. And we're pulling back again. And this looks like a pretty good pullback too. So AVCT. I need to take a sip of water. Let me grab this bottle here. So AVCT Can we see the first 1 minute candle make the new high again? So lovely setup here. Will it happen again right here? Can we get a green candle over 59 that surges up a little bit? Maybe 2 to 3 green candles. If I'm long at 70, I think I watched like 64 for my stop. But once again, I want to be a little bit careful though. IINN pushing up here. Actually, no, never mind. My scan's kind of bugging out. So I'm like, whoa, the resumption is in 2 minutes. Yeah. What happens with the high-low ticker if I'm scrolling up? Sometimes I kind of confuse myself thinking it's the scan is getting lower, like more stocks are hitting it. But it's just me scrolling. Yeah. So we'll wait. AVCT pulling back some more, so not quite holding up for a trade. Maybe it gives a 5-minute setup though, in which case 237 would not be a bad area here for trades off the lows. AVCT. Switching over to IINN quickly. Hopefully I'm not going to miss a nice trade off the lows right there. So I'll drop down to, let's say, 700 shares, 800 shares. And let's see if it opens up significantly higher. 6, 5, 4, 3. Here we go. 523. Okay. 10-minute halt. Or did I do my math wrong? Let's double check that. It seems like it might be a 10-minute halt. Yeah, so I'll come back to this one. AVCT. Let's see, that opportunity at 37, how does it look? I mean, it doesn't look bad, to be honest. Doesn't look bad. I think I'm going to take it here at 41. And my stop is going to be the low of the current candle. I'll say about 30. Well, let's do about 35. 30, yeah, about 6 cents. Well, let's see if we do get the first 1-minute candle to make the new high and continue to curl up here on AVCT. I'm watching the previous high of day level for my entry here, which is about 37. So I'm in a couple cents above. Let's see if we do hold and continue to curl. This one, since it's so cheap and such a tight range, I'm risking about 160, 150 bucks. If we do get a move up to high of day, I would be up about 20 cents, which would be $400. So it's definitely a 2-to-1 trade. And I'm in with 2,000 shares since it's such a tight range. The only risk right here is if it flushes down out of nowhere. Let's say it just flushes down to, let's say 20, then I take a good size loss. But other than that, I'm not too worried about the risk per se. So we'll just watch and see if it continues to curl up. Not looking to add at the 5-minute candle to make the new high either. I'll leave that trade alone for this particular stock. But we'll look to ride the momentum back to the upside. The new 5-minute candle will be here in 2 minutes, or 1 minute 45 seconds to be precise. And can we break over 251 within that time frame? So watching here, some selling pressure coming in. We got some slight selling pressure. Will we continue to hold the lows here? I think this 5-minute chart, you know, when I sit and I ask myself, does this 5-minute chart look strong? I definitely think it does. We're looking pretty bullish. We're pulling back with lighter red volume than we have on our buying candles, our green candles. So watching here to respect the stop and looking to let the trade work. So 35 or so is where I'm looking if selling pressure is really high to get out of the trade. So we'll see if we can continue to hold these levels and then curl back up to the upside. So there's 40. Selling pressure coming in. 38. Watching. We're seeing some buyers, but we'll see. This one is a little bit thicker with the float, so we're seeing more buyers at each price point, more sellers, right? It's a little bit thick, a little bit more thickly traded. I am going to miss resumption on IINN, by the way, since I'm in this trade, which, of course, if it gives a good move, then I can't really do too much about it. So watching here once again, in case we do come down to the stop. VWAP at 33, but I don't know if I would want to give this 10 cents of room. So watching here, there's 36. Will we see buyers continuing to get in there? 35. Will we hold? Got my hands on the sell button here. We're seeing buyers still. Will we continue to hold? There's the new 5-minute candle. This is where I would want to see us making those new highs. So can we get back over 45? And then, of course, 51 would be the first target. Buyers are coming in aggressively here. I'm going to sell half at 53 to secure the gains. And then I'll hold the other half to see how far we can continue going. Good volume, good buyers, bullish engulfing. Will we continue higher? That's the question here. So it's gonna do a test of strength and come down to the lows, almost stopping me out. Imagine I stopped out of the trade and now it's working out, right? So these stocks sometimes, there's 60 for a high. I think I'll set a trailing stop at 48. We'll see if it continues to curl higher. If we do give a 1-minute pullback, I think like 47, 48, we shouldn't pull back below that level. So if it pulls back below 47, I'll stop out completely. We should hold about 50 and then give the 1-minute pullback if that's what's going to happen here. Yeah, 587 for IINN. And we spoke about this yesterday too when it comes to opportunity costs. If I switch away from this stock and I come back to it and my position is red, I'll be very disappointed. So, you know, being that I use manual stops, I'm not going to do it to myself. IINN will have to go without me. 63, high of day at 65. What will it be at high of day? I didn't consider adding at the first 5-minute candle to make the new high because this stock is so cheap, the range is so tight that my cost basis would have came up to like 45 and that would have been too close. Here we go. Can we see a break of high of day? Not looking to have it at high of day either. Struggling a little bit. Watching. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? 63. More buyers, bigger buyers. I'll take it at 61. It could probably still go, but I'll take it off the table. Will is going to say sell another half. I'll take the entire thing. Are we going to see it? Double top. Can we go? There we go. 70, 73. As it's going to open up. Not bad. 80, 85. Jesus Christ. Not bad at all. And look at the size of this green candle now, right? Not bad. Not bad, man. Not bad. Buyers coming in at 79 and 80. Really good sign that people are buying that many shares that high up. I think it's a little too thick to try and scalp it, so I'll leave it alone for now. I probably should have sold half there, but look at IINN. Pretty good resumption, but not quite the follow through through the highs. Good resumption though. From 523 we resumed at 560. So AVCT I didn't give it a lot of time at 65. We tested twice and I sold the entire thing. Maybe I could have, waited a little longer, or in terms of what Will is saying there, selling half could have worked out too. The good news is that the profit loss ratio is still good. I took like 7 flat trades to be down 270 and one good trade to be back in the green. So I can live with that, right? I can live with that ratio. The first 1 minute candle at 80 could work right here, but I'm a little skeptical towards the scalp on a stock like this. It's just so thickly traded that it might be a little bit more choppy than expected when it comes to the breakouts. But there's 82. Let's see. I could probably see myself taking like break of, let's see, what's the low here? 73. Do I want to? The new candle is 40 seconds out. If I get long at like 74, I'll risk like 4 cents to see if we get the first 1 minute candle to make the new high over high of day. Let's see if it double bottoms right here. $71. Are we holding? I think it's holding. I'll take it at 73, and my stop here at 68, 69. Let's see if it curls back up for the first 1 minute candle here. It's showing good buyers coming in. We'll see. 70. Will we hold? 69. Alright, I'm pulling back a little too much. I'll take that with 1,000 shares, so I'll give back about 50 bucks. Not a bad attempt, but seems like we're going to need some more pullback. So the idea for that type of a trade is that I'm not really expecting a 5-minute pullback, right? We just had a 5-minute pullback. But it could be 2 red candles before the move instead of just one. So in this case, maybe we got a bottom of like 64, and then the first 1 minute candle to make a new high at 74 probably gives high of day. So we'll see if it plays out that way, but I'll hold off. I'm not going to take that trade. I'll wait. It was worth a shot. Will saying 65 areas the dip, so I might have been in a little too high right there. We have 367 viewers. My God, I didn't even realize. I was looking at the Discord. So 74 going to work for the first 1 minute candle. But once again, the dip area is getting called out at 65. So even 74 might be too high. If you're watching on YouTube, right, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing, right? I go live every weekday morning. Yes, Will, good call out, man. It looks good here. And so it seems like that 65 area was the level. So I was in too high. 73 was just too high. Yeah, yep. So it lows at 62. So I could have done some better analysis there. That's what it comes down to, you know. If you can get the good analysis, then you can get the right entries. So I could have been making like, you know, 10, 15 cents here. Nice, nice. I would expect this to break $3, right? But yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, consider subscribing. I go live every weekday morning around 9:10 at 9:15 a.m. where I'll you know, go over my watch list, talk about my game plan and how I'm looking forward to managing risk for the day. Not the smoothest start here today, starting slightly red, but coming back a little bit. We'll see if we get some more good trade opportunities. The day is still young. I'm looking forward to being patient. Not going to force trades that are not good trades or good analysis, right? Take a sip of water, sit back, relax, and watch this. The reason why I'm not buying is because I should have been in at 65, and it's just too late to be buying now. If it double tops at 86, then I'll get caught buying too high. So anybody in from 65 to like 70, you know, it's looking good here. Can we continue to curl through the highs? Veer, what's up? So I'm waiting patiently. Let me check some of the other stocks here quickly. BFRI. BFRI, man. We'll have to see. I'll have to look at the recap and see what I could have done better. CNTX is curling up. We might get a red to green here. CNTX curling up. CNTX. And there's 7. Let's see if it breaks and holds with high volume here. Volume not that high, but we are holding. VWAP up there at 36. We'll see if it's able to open up a little bit. Usually I don't like taking trades below the VWAP, but we've been seeing good red to greens the last couple of days, so it's like, why not? I give it a chance, but volume here not high enough for an entry at 7. CNTX, but in time maybe it gains more buyers. IINN. EFOI not really looking like too much. This one is also curling up, but you know, we'll see. And it's getting good support from 358, which is the 200 EMA, which is not bad. It's a good look. ISIG, unfortunately not doing too much today. That one was the big one on Monday as well as yesterday. So AVCT, I'll switch back. The first 5-minute candle to make the new high is going to double top at 84. Not quite what we wanted to be seeing there. It's reminding me of one of the other ones we saw, I think, on Tuesday, which took a little bit longer to open up, but once it finally opened up, it moved really well. Because look at the size of this green candle, right? From 35 to 87 for this price stock is pretty impressive. So, waiting patiently for more opportunities. Waiting patiently. CNTX is pulling back. I mean, it's been a while since we had a $2 stock really give some nice moves. But this one, it has a higher float. 51 million share float. So it's a little bit more thickly traded. It's moving well, though. The volume is pretty high. We got 93 million shares of volume so far. If you're tuning in and you're wondering which brokers I'm using, eTrade Pro, the left-hand side for level 2, and the high-low ticker, which is basically my Hive-Day scanner, and Thinkorswim for charting and executions. Thinkorswim executions I find to be slightly better than eTrade's, but nothing compared to Lightspeed and those platforms. So we're gonna get a low of 70. We're gonna curl back up here to 79. Not looking to take any scalp attempts here. Just waiting patiently to see if we get the break of 3. If it starts to go parabolic over 3, then I can actually take a scalp at that level. Maybe long at like 3, selling at like 315 or something. But other than that, I don't want to be super aggressive here, in case we we start to consolidate sideways. Prague is going to have a partnership soon. PROG. Now PROG has been a good stock to me, man. Over the last like 2-3 weeks, it's been pretty good. It's a little on and off with the days it's moving up, but hasn't been too bad. I'm not seeing anything that's worth buying right now, so still waiting. We're getting pulled back right now. Looking to be patient. It's crucial that my next set of trades are green trades, because right now I'm basically flat. BFRI is down. AVCT. I might have overtraded on BFRI too. I took 6 trades. It might have been a little too many trades. Diamond hands. Hold with your cold, dead hands. I'm a breakout trader at heart, so when I'm in off the lows, whenever we start to get back up higher, and we see resistance, I always, and even when I sell half of the position early, selling half of the position early is for me to ensure profits in case we kind of have a false breakout curling up. It locks in gains, and then I hold the other half either. I don't really want to hold it to break even if we're going to come down and flush. So I would want to get out with something. But other than that, I want to hold it to see how far we can go. But coming into high of day right there, thinking the double top was going to probably happen. It's still looking pretty good. We're flagging. We can drop the bull flag here. We do have a triple top though. So as we get tighter into the wedge, maybe at 10, maybe, well, 10:20, what's that, 5 minutes? Yeah, maybe around like 10:20. So on the next 5-minute candle, we get the decision as we get closer into this bubble right here. Well, we're coming down. So can we double bottom at 65? Right here, I have to ask myself again, do I think this charting is bullish? I think the answer is yes. Do I want to take 65? I think if the selling pressure is not bad, I get long with 1,000 shares here at 65, have a stop around like 58 or so. Let's see if it comes down a little bit more, but big volume there, curling right back up. Maybe I'm going to miss the opportunity there. We got a low of 67 and high volume coming in out of nowhere. Sometimes you want these candles just to come down a little bit more. If it comes down a little bit more, I'm probably long in there. Now I can, curling up already. So it's 10:16. Let's give it another 4 or 5 minutes and then see what it wants to do. AVCT. Daily chart, there's room to $4 up to the 200 EMA. Once again, selling pressure is lighter than what we had on our big green candles in terms of buying volume, right? So when we look at that green to red ratio, it's still looking pretty bullish here. I'm probably not going to get a chance to get in. Maybe 67 would have been a good entry. Probably would have stopped at 60. Sometimes this happens to me where I look for the stock to come down like a little bit lower, but it doesn't quite dip down enough. And then I'm not long. So here we go. We got some sellers coming up. First 5-minute candle to make the new high would be 84. If it gets parabolic over 85 and breaks 3, I want to scalp it. But if not, I don't want to get into that scalping mindset if it's not going up. Because right now we're in sideways consolidation. And false breakout there too. This is not good. This does not look good. If I'm in there at 65, I probably would have sold knowing how I get out fast. Good. So we're gonna find a bottom there. Not bad. Sometimes those candles continue lower, so not bad. We're gonna find a bottom there at 68, but not a good sign for the highs though. We want to come into the highs with confidence, with strength. We don't want to top the level of 82 and then flush down. So it's a little tricky. So once again, if you're watching on YouTube, this is definitely a new record here for my stream, right? It's been growing, but for the last couple of days, we've been around like 240. So if you are a new viewer, I'd consider subscribing to the channel. I go live every weekday morning for about 2 hours, right? I'll come in and talk about my watch list, my game plan for the day, and then I'll trade live, keeping it real, keeping it transparent. Everything is raw. If I take trades after I'm done, let's say I come back in the afternoon for the close or something, I'll include it in the recap, of course, which is usually out around 6 p.m. I try to aim for 5, but the upload time. So here we go, 80, 82 once again. Can we hold here and continue pushing? I can't imagine that short sellers are shorting it up here because, I mean, it's so bullish. Overall, if we look at the daily chart, we could say it's a weak stock because we've pulled back so much. But we're curling up off the lows. It's not a bad looking setup. but we might have some big short sellers nonetheless. So nevertheless, so can they cover their positions over 290, and can we get a short squeeze? Let's say back of the mind potential would be 350, but if we get a gradual move, can we hit at least 310, 315, 320, pull back, and then maybe pull back to like 305 and then curl up through the highs again and then keep pushing? So it's having a hard time. This is going to be the third time now it's going to have some trouble. 1, 2, 3. This is where it gets a little bit difficult. If you're in at 65, do you just unwind the trade, or do you still hold some shares to see, you know? I think I definitely would have sold half because it seems like it might be struggling a little bit now. We're getting pretty tight into the wedge, so what is it going to be? Break out or break down? I mean, it's a very impressive bull flag, right? This move from 35 just so aggressive. Stealing Ross's viewers, yeah, right. Whenever Ross is live, man, all the views are down. You guys know, so everybody's familiar with, well, most people are familiar with Ross, some of the bigger traders, Tim Sykes, those guys. But once again, the feedback I've been getting is that, you know, we all look up to guys like Ross, right? But it's sometimes hard to relate to making $20,000 a day. I mean, even I can't really imagine making $20,000 a day. Seeing would have to be believing for me, because it's like if you're winning a lottery every day, almost, right? Like a small lottery. I mean, it's a lot of cash. So it's like for my stream, it's like, okay, I'm averaging around $200 a day. And I mean, since the market has picked up since DWAC and PHUN, I think, what was that, October like 28th or something? We've been averaging some bigger numbers. And so I feel like it's more relatable for people. It seems like we might come down here. We're getting into this bubble and we're seeing pullback. So maybe it comes down. In which case, I mean, to me, it gets a little harder here again. It's like, if we pull back to what's the high right here? 265. Yeah, how did I miss that, man? That was there. But good call out from Will. If we pull back to 265 again, will we hold this level? I don't like it. It still looks strong though, but you know, I feel like it's a little hard to trust. Because I always tell myself, the strongest of stocks, I mean, if we look back at PHUN, you know, in October, the strongest set of stocks don't even pull back, right? So pullback in itself is some sort of weakness, right? Here we go, though, some big volume here, and big curl right off the lows again. Such an interesting one. But yeah, so pullbacks, you know, it's a test of strength is how I look at it. It's like, okay, if we can pull down and still hold, it's good. But some of the stronger stocks don't pull back at all, and so I do want to keep that in mind too when it comes to selling and taking profits. We're gonna surge right off of 65 and still have resistance at 81 again, and we're right up into the wedge. So what is it gonna be over these next 2 minutes? Once again, break out or break down, or are we going to continue to consolidate sideways? We've seen consolidations last for like an hour. This one has been going for 20 minutes. So, you know, it wouldn't be that unusual, but still. So I'll take a quick look at some of the other stocks. BFRI, still on the lows. CCNC, no good. CNTX, back down. EFOI, selling off and sinking like the Titanic, no good. IINN, not much. I wonder if there was an opportunity on this resumption here. Maybe I could have gotten something, but once again, I was tied up in the other trade. ISIG, today is not the day. It seems like we're getting a day of pullback. And this is what I mentioned in the open. If this one is to go and break 35 today, it would have been very impressive. It's so unusual to see this amount of consecutive green candles on the daily chart for a stock like ISIG. So nothing else is moving. Keeping my eyes on the scan. Seeing some stocks like XELA, BBIG, but they're not looking too good. Doesn't seem like it. So once again, for me, no trades inside of the consolidation. If I'm going to scalp, right now at this point, 65 is still holding very strong. But I think since I'm not in already, I don't know if I want to trust it. You know, if it continues to come back down, it's holding. But, you know, I believe in like getting long early. Like, for example, the area where it came down to 67. Let's say I'm long right there. You know, I do want to see the move happen a little sooner. Maybe that could mean because I don't have enough patience. Maybe because I'm so used to trading breakouts and the moves happening so fast. Maybe I need to have more patience to sit through a stock like this and let it just work. Keep my stop as my stop and, you know, see what it does. Because maybe in the next, let's say, 10 minutes, we hit 320. In that case, if I'm in and I sold early, I'm asking myself, why did I sell so soon? So it's always hard to know exactly which route to take, but, you know, patience is always key, they say. So will this AVCT eventually break through 85? Look at those buyers coming in down there at 70, 72, 73. It's not a bad sign. We got a couple of 10, 18, and 39,000 share buyers coming in. Looks interesting here. This is what I like to call the old-fashioned showdown. It's like the wild, wild west. You know, it's like you draw, and are the bulls gonna win, or are the bears gonna take this battle? I'm a bull at heart. I'm optimistic, so I'd like to think we can break out over 3, get the short sellers to cover. Good buyers coming in down there. For this to drop, somebody's gonna have to sell a huge position. So I feel good about it. Selling pressure's coming in, but we're seeing those big buyers. 50,000 shares, 16,000 shares. And look at these people taking positions here. 19,000 shares, 75. Some big orders going through down here. So that's an excellent sign for the move to come if we can continue to hold. Selling pressure coming in. I need to be in the position. If it starts to rip over 3 and I want the scalp, I need to make sure I'm not like lackadaisical at that point. I got to make sure my hands are on the buy button and I stay at the ready, because if it gives a fast move, I've seen these same cheap stocks move as if they're $20 stocks. So it's a slim chance it happens like that, but if we see something parabolic, once again, I need to be ready or else I'll miss the entry. '70s holding strong so far. Learn the basics of trading but will not trade like him. Are you referring to Ross? Once again, 70 holding really well. I think the only thing that hits us hard here to the long side is a big seller. Let's say somebody unwinds 1 million shares down there at 70. Which could happen, but I think is unlikely. So when we look at probability, I would say the move is going to happen, but it's only a matter of time. Maybe in the next 5, maybe next 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The 5-minute chart still looking very bullish. Redeemed yeah, I use Yahoo Finance for the to check the float as well. You go to the statistics section and it shows you. If not, you can use Finviz. Finviz.com is also pretty good. Finviz also, I can't remember how to do it, but they show they show if stocks have shelf registrations, which is basically like the paperwork, let's say, for secondary offerings. So you can check all of that. Like let's say if you're feeling aggressive and you do want to hold into a few halts, you want to make sure that kind of a thing, because if they seize the opportunity to do a secondary offering whilst you're holding into a halt, it could be a big problem. Sometimes we see 50% drop-offs, right? So all of that stuff, if you're kind of looking forward to doing that, you want to check up. So here's a new 5-minute candle. We're looking strong here. I think it's looking good, looking better than ever. Higher lows. Will we see this push? Will we see this push? Here we go. Big buyers coming in, big buyers, but we got a wall of sellers here. Where are those bulls? Can we see it? We do not want a false breakout here. Oh, man. Come on. Come on. All of that build-up for a false breakout. I'm disappointed. CNTX, moving on. Come on. Okay, good call out there. CNTX. Moving on, switching gears. There was room to 35 for the VWAP, was it? Where's the VWAP now? Okay, we're right at the VWAP. It's actually 729. High of day is at 60. CNTX looking pretty promising right here. If volume is high over 736, I want to be long. There's a 22,000 share buyer at 10, which is good. Man, I'm a little disappointed in that move, though. We had such a nice bull flag going. I think the signs were showing a breakout. We had those sellers up there, yes. But maybe because the daily chart is not at all-time highs, short sellers are more aggressive in that area. But I would have thought we would have had the move. Watching 30 here. Let's see how this does. Once again, 36 is the area that I'm looking at. If volume is high enough for a potential entry. CNTX. If I'm in at like 35, I wouldn't want to give it 10 cents, but I might have to. But anywhere from 5 to 8 cents wouldn't be bad for the risk. Seems like volume is still taking some more time to get in, so waiting patiently. This could be a good trade here. Watching. Seeing some buyers. I'll take it at 32. It's looking promising. I'll watch 25 for my stop here. Will we continue to see that high volume? Churning a little bit. 26 on the bids. Am I in too soon? Volume should be higher. 34. I'll sell flat and look to get back in. I'll come out in the spreads. I'll get back in above 35 or 40 if more buyers continue to come. 38, 40. Okay. Now I gotta ask myself, am I out too soon? Watching for the spike here. Come on. Not quite. I can always wait for break of 50 and the hold above 50, but what I would have wanted was a high volume spike for a rip to like 65. Let's say if I'm in early. There's 50. Here we go. What does it want to do? I'll have another flat trade there. I don't want to over trade it, but the volume spike here doesn't seem like it wants to come quite in. what I want to be right there is in at 55, out at 70, 65, somewhere 10 to 15 cents. We got 60 for high of day. I'll give it one last attempt, and probably just watch for a pullback or something. Doesn't seem like it wants to open up here. But for my first entry point at 32, we are at 50 though. You know, once again, it goes to that. For those of you who might be holding longer, you know, it's a good trade to this point. All right, here we go. I almost had a misfire right there too. Where's the explosion? Waiting. Are we gonna double top? Yeah, no good. What I'll do now is wait for a proper breakout and look for a 1 minute pullback. If you've been watching the last couple of days, you would understand why I would be aggressive towards those particular entries, but no follow through. From the very first point of the very first entry point at 30, not bad. We did get a push to 60, which is 30 cents, but not getting to see anything in there. It's going to be a double top and then a drop back down. Today's trades are not the same as yesterday's trades, but I do like to base the sentiment and trading off of the previous day's momentum. And similar situations yesterday played out into like 15, 20, 30 cent winners. All right. PTPI. So I'm a little bit aggressive towards the entries, but not quite the follow through. Good intuition overall, though, to know that it looked like it was ready to start moving, but just not enough pace. P&L, right? Where am I at? I think I'm red. I'm red 128 bucks, which is not too good. So I've been churning for the most part. I had one solid trade off the lows, but not seeing much on the scalp trades today. It took about, was that 6 and another 5, 11 plus another like 6 or maybe 4. Not too impressive. Yeah, 12 trades total today. 12 trades total. About 11 scalp trades, 1 trade off the low. The days, if we go back last week, the days where I ended up 150 and 130, so I got to be very careful here. The days where I ended up 150 and 130, where I could have had bigger green days, played out in this exact type of a way. I had 1 good trade off the lows, but like 10 scalp trades that did not play out well. Yesterday, 2 trades off the lows, or maybe 1, and like 10 scalp trades, but the scalp trades are going to be beautiful scalp trades. Right, we're going to be up over $1,000 yesterday, so not so good so far here today. So what it means for me is that I got to ease it down. I think I dropped my share size at this point to 500 shares, no more than that, and look to take it slow. Look to recognize that, hey, it's 10:38 and I'm not high in the green, so slow it down before I actually get a big loss, because I can get caught in a big red candle and before you know it, I'm down $400, which is not what I would want at all. So I'll adjust the expectations for today. 500 shares. Can I see 2 to 3 good trades? Let's say if 10 cents a piece. That would put me flat. I think I can call it a decent day if I end flat. And we're down 128, so it wouldn't be too bad to get back to break even. So adjusting as I'm going. My metrics will tell me that in the first 30 minutes of every day is where I make the most money. And the first 30 minutes of came and went, like yesterday's news. So I got to slow it down and just take it easy. I am green I'm green throughout all times of the day except pre-market. So, you know, I could still see something here that's good. But want to have the patience and discipline to recognize that things aren't going as well. Sometimes you got to adjust the expectations too. And I think moving forward for the rest of the day, instead of holding for bigger winners, let's say 15, 30, 40 cents, I think I sell for 10 cents. And, if once I'm up 10 cents, I take it. And look to do that 3 times. So I'll be here for another hour or so. We'll see. We'll sit back. We'll relax. I'll get caught up on the chat here since everything seems to be pulling back. And then we'll take it from there. Yeah, everything pulling back. For me to trade CNTX again, it needs to break over high of day, which would be up at 65. CCNC, no good. BFRI, man, could have definitely done better on BFRI, but that's how it goes. Never fun to be down that amount, but with the share size, it's understandable. AVCT off the lows, really? Jesus Christ. I'm rotating through, but I'm gonna look at every other stock starting from the bottom of the list up. So I'm gonna miss this quick push here. Taking a deep breath here. You see, this is hard though, because it's like, why give this false breakout, but then give this big move? And it is gonna be a parabolic move like I would have thought. From 265 to 313. But picture it this way. Instead of the move happening from 65 at the lows, if it had happened high up at 80, we would have had to push to like 330. So, but not bad. We'll see. I think I could watch the first 1 minute candle to pull back maybe. So watching patiently. High of the current candle is 3. We got a low of 93. A low of 93. Wow. There's good volume here. It's churning a little bit. I didn't go long. My hands is not on the buy button. It seems like it's churning a little bit, but it is going up. Because it's so thickly traded, it's very liquid, right? It's very liquid. You can take some huge position sizes for those of you with big size, right? But I think it kind of messes up the scalp trades a little bit. I would need to have I feel like a longer hold time. But there was 7, 8 cents in there. Like, it still looks pretty good. If I'm in at 3, I don't know if I want to be out of this trade yet. The price range is pretty low. And when we talk about it and we look at it this way, this one is moving a little bit funny, right? Because of the float. When we have stocks at like $8, $10, $15, the range is bigger, right? And we still, of course, want limited downside risk, high upside potential, but the range is bigger. And so a $10 stock on a 1 minute pullback, if it makes the new high and it's a good move, we can see like 30 cents. AVCT, because it's so cheap, we probably would see like what we just saw right there, 8 cents, right? The high of the candle is actually 12. Let's say 10 cents, right? We probably could get 10 cents each time, which is not bad, but it also makes it a little bit more difficult, right? It's like there's less room for error. If you stop out too soon, you're not going to get as much. My share size is already down. And so It might, I don't know, it might not make enough sense to try and scalp it. I don't think it makes enough sense. Not unless we're getting green candles like the candle at 1040 over and over, back to back to back. We're holding a low of 93 so far, which is not bad. So the pullback that we had was a bear trap. I didn't recognize it, or else I could have bought the lows. I recognized it a few days ago, but this time, because of how it comes down in such a high volume manner, I thought we were going to sell off. But we held a low of 53 and right back up. So the lows at 50 at 290, 295. The low of this consolidation here is looking all right, looking good. We're gonna make a low of 96 just now and curl back up. Daniel asking why I don't buy at VWAP. I do, right? I do. It depends. The first trade that I took off the lows was a VWAP trade down here at 959. If you go back, I'm on the East Coast, by the way, so my time zone might be a little bit different for some of you guys. Yeah, but 959, I was along at 42. My stop was right at VWAP for support, which was at 36, 37. Risking like 5-6 cents. So I feel like I understand what's going on here, though. It's like if I'm in it, if this dips back to like 97, I think I take the entry. But having a longer hold time, I think, is going to be key. Here we go, watching. Can we see a little bit more selling pressure? Come on. I think having a longer hold time is going to be good. It seems like it takes time to open up. Can we see a little bit more selling pressure? We did see 97 there, though. I didn't take the long. Flopping, saying let's get the bread, without a doubt. Can we see some more selling pressure? Can we see, like, I would love a double bottom here at 93, to be honest. But watching, can we get a little bit more selling pressure here? All right, I'll take 98. It might dip down some more, but I'll take 98. We'll see. I'll watch it to the lows of 93, and I'll look for the curl back up. There's 93. So once again, I could have gotten a better fill. But sometimes you wait and then it doesn't go down right. But here we go. Will we see support once again at these lows? That's what I'm watching for here. For a curl back to 310, 315 or so. Could have gotten a nice fill there, man. 92. Will we hold this range here of 90? See, and so now since I'm in a little bit higher, it's like if I'm in at 92 and there's 86. If I'm in at 92, watching the volume, if I'm in at 92, I can definitely hold this longer here. But watching, we're going to get a quick drop and pop. Are we going to curl back up with high volume and get the bottoming wick? Watching. Yeah, that lower entry, but it's always so hard to tell, right? The worst thing though is when I don't get long and then we do curl up, right? So watching here closely, we got a bottoming wick already. I hate when the risk is thrown off. The new 1 minute candle is coming in 10 seconds. If we don't make the new high at 95, I'll be out of the trade. Can we see 95 on the ask? There it is. I'll be out of the trade. See, not the best trade there because of the entry being so high. Time 10:58. I'll watch it for another attempt though. We've seen this setup before a couple times. 84 and 84 is actually the lows too. 84, 87. So once again, am I in too high? The answer was definitely yes, or is definitely yes. Not the best trade there. Yeah, I agree. The 619 short seller's laughing at this. Well, not at me, but the stock. So does he think it's going to continue to come down? I would say the short sellers had a hard time with this one, man. I don't know. I think the short sellers had a hard time with this one. Yeah, I'll look to get back in pretty soon here. Let's continue to watch the volume profile, though. 82. I'll take the entry 83 and give it another attempt. We'll see if we do curl up here. We're actually now at the better entry that I should have been taking in the first place. Well, let's see. I'll give this one some time. Probably going to be one of my last trades. Time is 10:52. It is getting a little later here in the day. Not too happy with some of these trades, but we'll see. It's like, you know, I don't even have to ask you guys. It's like we all have high standards. And so, you know, when you make a mistake or two, or, you know, you take a trade that's not so good, you always got to ask yourself, like, you know, man, you know, what was I thinking there? So I'm in at 84. My stop here about 77. I'm looking to see the curl back to the upside. This is actually a trade under normal circumstances, I want to take with like 1,500 shares, 1,000 shares, but we'll let it work. We'll let it go. I've already, come to the decision of just reducing size. There's always the risk of me getting long with 1,500 shares at 84, and then there's another drop to, let's say, 70 or 60, and, you know, that's where the day is looking pretty crazy. So we'll see. We're curling up nicely off of the 21 moving average as well. Will we continue to push? The first 5-minute candle to make the new high will be back over 3, which will be here in 1 minute and 50 seconds. Well, 1 minute and 10 seconds. 1 minute, 10 seconds. Because it's such a small position, I'm thinking, well, I don't want to go against my policies, small position or not. I'm watching it here at 3 to see how it does. There's 95. Are we coming back to retest? The new 5-minute candle is 25 seconds out. 25 seconds. Can we break over $3 in the next 25 seconds for the first 5-minute candle to make the new high? Seeing some sellers coming in. They're coming down a little bit. Watching here. Will we see the first 5-minute candle make a new high? There's 90 on the bids. We haven't seen high volume yet, which is worth saying, right, in terms of this pullback. So will we see high volume to the sell side, or will we see high volume to the buy side, right? So just watching, waiting patiently. We're seeing 90 on the bids. For those of you watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. The goal today is 180 likes. Can we get up there to 180 likes? And also, if you are a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Watching here as we're coming back to 86. Watching at the selling pressure right here, right? The price action. Are we going to see big sellers? If not, I want to be holding the trade. This is why, though, I do like the idea of selling half up there. 3, I was a little slow, but selling half, let's say we flush down right here. It's like you're not going to be too much at risk, you know? So watching the selling pressure. So far, it's mild, not too bad. As the garbage truck is passing by. There's 83, 81, and not selling just yet. Watching. Got my hand on the mouse here. I think volume is not bad, but still want to be careful. Let's click off of that. We've seen it in the last consolidation, pull back like this, curl back up. So watching here to see. Once again, the only problem, the only risk is like a flush. Let's say this just flushes down to like 260, then I take a decent sized loss. Other than that, the risk is well defined and well in place. Can we see the first 1-minute candle make the new high right here? That'll be over 86. And can we start to retake 90? Not seeing big buyers there watching it. There's 80, 75. And I'll come out there as the selling pressure is getting a little bit high. All right, so we're gonna take a loss there on this last position, low of 73 on that candle. We're gonna bounce back, but I think, yeah, that's it. Yeah, looking like it's gonna come down. But I was slow, right? I should have. What was the high right here? 303. That was more than, that's 20 cents. I should have been out half. And so if we do come down break even, or I take this small loss, I'm still green in the trade overall. So not good. It's a good trade, but not good execution with how fast I needed to be to get out. But at 303, and this is going to be the second time this is going to happen to me, I got to pay more attention there in that particular situation where I'm in and I don't sell fast enough. The day where what was this, 2 days ago? 2 days ago, I'm in this similar type of a trade with 2,000 shares. The stock goes from 387 to 420. I added 420, it goes to 433, and I'm supposed to sell the position at 87 at 30 or 33. But I was too slow. It comes back down at a very similar situation. So it's all right, it's fine, it's cool. At least I know what adjustment I have to make for next time. It seems like these mistakes always happen to me like 2 to 3 times before I finally realize, holy smokes, don't let that happen again. But it once again shows there's always room to improve, right? So P&L right now down to 11, not bad, but not good, not good either. So I think we ease it down like we are, just continue to take it slow. The question is, was there enough opportunity here to be high in the green? The answer is definitely yes. So not good that I'm going to have a red day. And once again, the scalps did not help me out at all, which was part of the problem. So definitely going to slow it down, take it easy, and go have a great weekend. Come back. I hear you, man. So the last couple of days, right? If we look at the week, it was a pretty good week. We got a couple smaller days, a couple bigger days, some crazy momentum through and through. Though I would say today is not bad at all either. So pretty good stuff, right? But how long will this continue, right? How long will we continue to see follow through in the market? Will we go to, and my guess is to the end of December. Into the New Year's, we always have people kind of, reconfiguring their portfolios and making moves, buying, selling, this and that. So January is sometimes volatile, but not always. And since, once again, DWAC, the Trump media company, came out, right? That's supposed to be rivaling Twitter sometime soon. Since they came out, the momentum to me was more consistent ever since that like point in time, that day. And you guys might remember, right? DWAC went to like 170. PHUN went all the way to $24 from about $5, just straight up, just insane. Since that day, it's been consistent through and through overall, and I've made some good money too. I've made some good money. I think I've made over like 10,000 in this time frame, which has been pretty good. I'll double check on that, but hasn't been bad. And so I do need to be ready for when things slow down. I've been increasing my size little by little, but when it slows down, I always know, because I got a big red day the first day of a slower market, right? It's like you try a couple of trades, nothing works. It'll be very different from what today is. Today we had follow through. Those days will not see anything, just bigger drops and fake outs and that kind of a thing. So, but for me, how can I recognize the slowdown fast enough, even on the first day, right? Even on the first day, can I notice the slower trading, tamper back, take it easy? Because with big share size, I mean, you can make a lot of money fast, yes, but the risk is always on the other side of the trade. And when the trades are not working, if you're using 2,000-3,000 share positions, it only takes like 3 losses before you're down 5, 6, 7, 800. So, that's going to be the challenge. It's always good when it's hot, but when it starts to get slow, can we adjust to the slower market conditions? So, I really want to try and make sure when it does come that I'm well prepared to handle the situation. So if we go back to October, was it the 21st? Let's see. Calendar. I'll take a quick look here before I do this. Let me take a look at some of the other stocks. BFRI curling up. BFRI. I'll get caught up in the chat in a sec on the Discord and the stream. EFOI. IINN. ISIG. VYNE. Not much. My average red days right now are like 180. Well, no, 160. 167. So, a little bit above the average, but not too bad considering the share size, I think. So October, let's check this here. I'll go to single screen for a quick sec and pull over my trader view. We're curling back up a little bit here though. AVCT, for anybody still watching, we're curling back up a little bit, but we'll see how the volume does. Let's see, so October month, right? Let's filter to October month. Why are we not working? October 1st, there we go. Yeah, so October, let's go to the calendar. Reports view, calendar. Yeah, I think it was the 22nd. Was it? Yeah, the 22nd. So this day, man, this day I didn't even get to trade PHUN. The only entry that I saw was a gap and go, but I didn't like it because of a false breakout in pre-market right into the open, and so CRTD was also moving. It's a pretty good sized green day. But since then, so let's filter from the 21st to now, right? Well, the 22nd actually. And this is not including the last couple of green days. So about $12,000 in this hot streak, right? Not bad at all. Pretty decent. I know some of the bigger traders are really killing it, right? Whether it's 4,000 a day, 5,000, 8, 10, 15, 20. But I think this is not bad, right? For an up and coming trader. Pretty decent. So let me get caught up in the comments here, and then I'll look to take it easy. 11:30 is my mark where I'll be out of here. Mondays, though, I don't know. Mondays have been a struggle for me, man. Haven't been doing super well. Very interesting day today. So let's see here in the chat. I'll scroll back up a little bit. 619. Once again, how's it going, man? Did you get some good short trades? We have 268 people still tuning in here. I'll pull back up to level 2 in case anybody wants to continue watching at that for AVCT. Once again, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you have not already, right? Keeping it real, keeping it transparent, red, green, or anything in between. Just looking to, of course, be consistent. When I did the math, well, TraderView did the math for me. I'm green, when I was looking at it, I'm green 7 out of 10 days, which is not bad. I thought it was a little bit lower, but it's 7 out of 10 days. When I do the math to see how many total days I've traded and the amount of days I was green versus red, it's like at 155. What is it? Let's see. Let's go back. I'll check. So the beginning of the year, win versus loss. Yeah, 154 green days to 66 red days, which is still pretty high for the red days, right? Because we know the better traders, people who are better than I am. When we look in the community, when we look around here in the chat, some of you guys are only having like 2-3 red days a month, or even less than that sometimes. So, you probably have like 190 green days to, let's say, 25 red days, or 200 green days. Yeah, more like that, right? Let's say 200 green days to 20 red days. So, moving forward is one of the things I want to try and be better at, is how can I get less red days. On a day like today, I shouldn't really be red, right? We had enough. There was enough. I think the scalp trades, man, just, none of them worked, right? Not even one. So let's see. Let's see here. And I also took 2 trades off the lows that weren't so good. BFRI curling up. High of days at 660. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep my eye on it though. Why I was here. Thanks for subscribing. Right? Thanks for subscribing. If you're still in the building, right? Big shout out. uh, the 6-1 JG saying the 619 short seller shaking in his boots a few minutes ago. You know, it's always so tricky with these stocks, man. You know, if we're long, and even for me, we talk about the drop off. I thought it was finished. AVCT. I thought it was finished at 10:30 when we had this big red because we rejected the highs. I'm like, yeah, false breakout. Here we go. You know, you're expecting it to gradually come down below the VWAP and like, you know, sell off, maybe go a little sideways. But the thing rips right through high of day with such a big green candle again. But I think it still looks okay. It still looks all right, right? We're holding up a decent amount of this green candle. But I would have really loved for this move at 10:40 to have happened at 10:30 because the candle would have started out at the highs. We would have had this big green candle at the highs of 85. We would have had to push into a halt, let's say 3:30, and it would have been a different story. Then the short sellers would have really been shaking, because you know it would have been pushing parabolic territory. Smitty B saying today not so good. You know, for me, I always ask myself, man, with what we've got, with what the market gave, was it enough to be green? For me and how I trade, I would say the answer is yes. So it means I need to be better. And I was a little sloppy today. I think I'm not too proud of the two trades I took off the lows, where I didn't recognize the actual low. And the reason why it happened to me is because I didn't go back to the last high for the reference point. Instead, I used the low of the new consolidation, which when they align, it's much better versus one or the other, right? But when they align, it's actually, you know, it's kind of like multi-time frame alignment, multi-indicators aligning. So that was not good to, you know, in the situation where Will had called out, hey, the low is actually 65. Because the difference is that was a losing trade. I think I lost like 8 cents on it, or 6 cents on 1,000 shares. I was up 290. I went to being down like, or I think up 240, something like that. I lost like 6 or 5 cents. If I'm in at 65, instead of having that losing trade, I would be green 10 to 15 cents because from 65 we saw 80. If I sell into the highs at 80 before the break of the highs, okay, sold a little sooner, but still 15 cents. With 1,000 shares, it's 150. So it's like a double negative that I missed that particular entry. You know, I missed the trade and I had a loss. So it's a double negative versus getting the right entry and having a good trade. And then it's going to happen again on the last setup here. Where I'm in at 98. I had no business being in at 98. Should have waited for 84. But, you know, I got to be careful not to map that area as the low, but use the last high as the reference. So high of this move was 87. My trade should not come unless we're between, let's say, I always adjust for us overshooting the landing zone. The entry is 87, but we might pull back to 82 or 84. So anywhere between, let's say, 81 and 87 is a good entry for a move back to high of day again. And from 87, when I finally got back in, we had a high of 302. I did not sell half. So I always sell half. Why am I not selling half, right? It's, you know, so got to tighten up the loose ends. It should have been a green day if I'm more, you know, if I'm more, what's the word here? If I'm more composed, if I'm more dialed in, if I'm more focused, I think I'm up, let's say 150. Nothing crazy, but I'm at least green instead of being red 220. So that's the difference, right? And we talk about it every day. There's such a fine line between being green and being red. It's sometimes so small, the smallest thing. You know, maybe you decided not to take one trade, and that would have been the best trade of the day. it's a lot of decision making and a lot of times you're in the trades and you need to execute properly. You have to have good analysis. There's a lot of moving parts, all of why trading is so difficult. But as we can see here, it can be done. A lot of mistakes were made that could have been avoided. So that's always the motivation to move forward, right? Okay. All right, we had a red day. Okay, cool. But Monday, fun day, right? Monday will be back and looking to be better than ever. So it's 11:14. I'm gonna hang out for another 15 minutes. At this point, I think I'm done for the day. I mean, unless BFRI like rips over the highs or something, I think I'll be finished. So we'll be back Monday and we'll see how we do. Rambo, not a good start to the month and down 440 on the month of December. It happens, it happens, man. What was that month? October month, $600 red day to start, using bigger size in a slower market, looking to be aggressive. It's always so difficult, man. But we got to keep pushing through. We got to keep looking for ways to improve, to be better for the next time. So once again, we'll study up, right? For me, I like to study on Sunday so that I'm fresh for Monday morning, and we'll give it another go. Today, my share size up a little bit. LP, good question. Why do I use both Thinkorswim and E-Trade Pro and not just one? I feel like each are good for different things. For example, E-Trade Pro level 2 is really good. Well, it's let's say good. It's good. There's better level 2s out there, but for E-Trade Pro, it's a free platform for the most part. The level 2 I think is pretty good. The time and sales is pretty good, which is the left hand side of the screen basically. Thinkorswim, I prefer the executions, but with Thinkorswim it has its own problems too. I mean, these brokers are not good at all. They're flawed in a lot of ways. When it comes to, if we were to rate them, if we were to have a scale of what a broker should be, these two by themselves I think do not pass the test. There's a lot of flaws, and I'll give an example here. E-Trade Pro. If this is the only platform you're using for charting, and let's say you're using one chart at a time, let's say you're using your 1 minute chart, right? It has a problem where sometimes the highs of the candle does not update. And so, you're watching a stock like BFRI, you'll think that the high is 72 when in actuality the high is 85. And for somebody like me that trades the first 1 minute candle to make the new high so often, it's devastating. And in fact, when I used to trade on E-Trade Pro years ago, it was one of the reasons why I had my biggest loss, and I never realized it until months later. In a trade, the first 1 minute candle to make the new high is like, let's say 250. The charting does not update. It's showing that the high is 242. I bought in an area where I had no business buying. I bought in a random area, really and truly, and the stock dropped off hard. I could have avoided the trade if it had updated properly. And I didn't notice this until I started using a different broker with a different chart, Thinkorswim, to realize, wow, look at this thing. The chart is not updating properly. Not saying that this one is, but just for the example. There's that. The executions are even worse than the executions at Thinkorswim, in my opinion. They're just not very suitable for the style by, let's say, standalone, right, individually. E-Trade Pro has other things that are wrong with it. In fact, I seen a guy yesterday posted a video, and it's the situation that I had here with Thinkorswim months ago, where you're in a position, it's showing your order is live, but you can't sell the position. You can't exit the trade. The guy takes a $2,000 loss, right? This is a trader I saw yesterday, actually. I'm on YouTube, and YouTube recommends me the video. And so it's funny to see E-Trade has that problem too. The direct access routing broker does not have that problem because they have direct access to the market in a sense when it comes to order flow. These brokers, this is what happens. E-Trade Pro, Robinhood, Thinkorswim, some of the other ones, these orders, all of our orders gets routed through the Citadel, right? Which is this big um, firm in, I think it's in Chicago, right? If I'm not mistaken. But they're a huge firm and they deal with order flow, right? Every time I hit buy, they see where I'm buying, what I'm buying, what time I'm buying, and it's then from there they take those orders and then send it to the market. And the way how it was explained to me was that they'll have a delay on the side of the Citadel, or yeah, it has to be the Citadel. There's no other way. There's a delay on the side of the Citadel to send the signal back to us to show that the order has been executed and has been filled. And so there's a way around it, but it's still not guaranteed safe, right? It's a terrible situation altogether. But so the way how it was explained to me from one of the guys at TD Ameritrade, right? One of the brokers I was talking to, right? The customer service was that, hey, on our side from TD Ameritrade, we can see that you already bought the shares. We don't know why that on your screen it's not showing up that you bought the shares. So it could also be a bug in their system too, right? So it's like there could be multiple problems to the issue. So if I'm ever in that situation, I click sell, and what it does, of course, it will still show that your order is live, and so it will seem as if you didn't sell. But and I experienced it before. Once you sell, it should have gotten you out where you were trying to get out, assuming you're hitting market and not limit, in which case you probably get slippage, partial fills, right? So it's a bit of a complicated situation, but as brokers, they should never allow that to happen. As day traders, it's a nightmare. As a swing trader, investor, any type of trader, it's a nightmare to not be able to get in and out of a position the normal way. Once I buy 250 shares, I should see 250 shares, and once I sell, my equity should then settle as I'm exiting the trade, or let's say exited the trade, right? So it's like a terrible situation. Thinkorswim, I'm going to realize, has that issue earlier this year. From that video that I saw yesterday, I'm going to realize E-Trade Pro has the issue. And Thinkorswim, I don't know what it is, but in the first minute or two, which is why I never really traded the gap and go consistently over the years, is because Thinkorswim have lag, right, in the first minute or two with executions. So there's issues all around. I can't wait for the day when I'm out and gone from these platforms. But for now, I combine the two to use the best of both worlds in a sense to make it work, right? But there's pros and cons to it. One of the cons is that I'm definitely slower, right? Because I'll have to type in a symbol not only on Thinkorswim, but also on BFRI, but also on E-Trade Pro, right? So there's that. If you ever have that situation, you know, you got to kind of try and maneuver and not panic. Also, if you're recording your screen like I do, right, you can upload the video to whether Facebook or YouTube and send them the link with a timestamp of, hey, this is where I bought the trade, because you need evidence sometimes, right? Because they might not want to give you the benefit of the doubt, despite them knowing that their platform has an issue. And it's happened. I've been able to get reimbursed before, and there's been other days where they basically told me, hey, good luck, right? But then I see the price adjustments in my account weeks later. They'll say, hey, we'll put in a ticket, we'll have people review it, da da da. It's this whole process that takes time. But imagine if you're trading with $5,000 in your account and you take a $5,000 loss, it means that your account is down for days until they can reimburse you. So it's just not a good situation at all, right, to be in. So trading is hard enough as it is. We already have to worry about false breakouts, flushes, secondary offerings, T1, T12 halts, other risks when it comes to emotional and mental health, and being cool and composed in the trades. It's just hard enough. So to have to worry about your broker failing you too, it's just not good. It's just not healthy. In fact, the first time it happened to me, like I was just so like I was furious, and I was ready to switch brokers too, but they reimbursed me, and it's like, okay, if they can reimburse me, then it's not as bad, but there's still opportunity cost, because when this platform fails, like I remember the first day it happened, I was scared to even trade again the rest of the day, and stocks are just flying that day. So what, you can't do anything but just watch. I would never know how much money I could have made that day. Maybe it would have been my best day ever. I was robbed from ever knowing. And I like trading so much, right? I love trading. I would prefer to show up and trade and have a small red day like today than not be able to trade at all. Because at least today I learned something new. I learned what I need to do to be better for tomorrow. And when you look at it in the perspective of having an end goal, what's the end goal? How long will it take you to get there? Every day that I miss because of some broker issue is one more day longer that it's going to take for me to get to my destination. So, it's a little crazy, but these platforms, they can work. When they work well, when they're running smooth, it's okay, it's decent, it's good. Um, I know the limitations, I feel like, by now, as to what I can and cannot do, and then what type of trades I want to stay away from when it comes to speed, hotkeys. We talked yesterday about ISIG getting expensive at 35 and how fast it's moving. Thinkorswim can't keep up with how fast this stock is flying. I will get higher fills, even with small size at that point. So I'll reduce, I'll stop, I'll take a step back and say, hey, no more trades. This thing is too expensive now. But a stock like BFRI, I can get filled right here between 550 and 552 with 5,000 shares. It's not a problem. So you got to play towards the strengths of your trading and what the broker allows you to do to make it work. But if you're trying to, size up and really be aggressive, I would definitely not recommend going close to Thinkorswim or E-Trade. There's other platforms that are better suited for the style and approach. Thoughts on AVCT? Sometimes it's hard to say because you come back later and these stocks are at let's say we come back at 2 o'clock and this stock is at $5. It's broken over the 200 EMA and pushed up. But for now I would say we got a low of 268. We kind of came back down into the previous support that we had earlier. And I'll extend this trend line so it's more so we can see it a little bit better, but I think if it holds 268, it's still in play. It's a very low pullback. Well, let's say 265. If it holds 265, I think it's still in play. But below that level, I don't like it at all. I think it'll be finished. So we pulled back and we had a low of 68. So we held that very first support level going back all the way to 950. And now you're seeing we're curling back up right here. So anything can still happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks high of day in the next 30 minutes. It's possible. But that's it for me. I've gave it a good fight. Gonna throw in the towel and I'll be back on Monday morning. It's like, for me right now, the number one thing that I need is to step away from the market. I'm not feeling frustrated. I'm not feeling upset or anything. But right now, I kind of feel like I'm at my limits, right? Like, I don't want to keep trading. Today is just not the day for me. There will be days where I'll be red and I'll trade till 2 o'clock with no problem. But today I feel mentally drained. I feel like I'm exhausted. So what I'll do, I'll take a break. Maybe if I come back at 2, 3 o'clock and then something looks really good, maybe I get back to flat. Or maybe I make back 100. I would prefer not to go into the red if I come back, of course. Be very careful about that to go deeper, right? But yeah, so time, it's 29. Jamaica/Canada. I mean, Jamaica slash Jamaica, Canada. You're guessing Jamaica, Canada. Uh, what's the comparison though, or relation when you hear a Jamaican accent or a Canadian accent? I think those are two very different accents. But I'm Guyanese, South American. Yeah, I can't hide my accent no matter how much I could try. Toronto, Momo. Let me know where you guys are from, man. We got 223 people in the building. If you're not actively trading, give us a shout out as to where you're from. But now I'm living in New Jersey, right? I'm in New Jersey here in America. Used to live in Brooklyn for a long time before moving over. We got El Salvador in the building. Vegas from jail. That's a good one. Germany. Mick from Germany, man. Shout out to Germany. So completely time zone, completely different time zone and everything, right? Northern California, Atlanta, Ohio, Arizona. Haku from Berkeley, California, France, Arizona. We got a lot of different places. UK, DC, Kentucky, Estonia, Los Angeles, and New York City. Man, pretty crazy. People from all over the world tuning in, and we're global right now. We're global. It's kind of crazy, man. Can you guys imagine if we all come together for one common goal? Let's say outside of trading, right? Let's say we come together and start a business. We have 200 something people here. It's kind of crazy to think about. What do I think about Weeble? Momo is asking. Alberta. Belgium. What do I think of Weeble? I never really used the platform. I've seen a lot of people talking good things about it though, which is good. A lot of people, they sponsor a lot of people. I mean, they've reached out to me before, but I mean, you guys know how I'm kind of campaigning right now. I mean, maybe in the future, but for now, I'm kind of just, I'm kind of just focused on my trading for now. But I haven't really watched reviews on them, right? In terms of detailed reviews of the layouts and how the platform looks, but you can definitely check it out. I've heard good things though. I haven't really heard anything bad about them. Went from Thinkorswim to Weeble and never looked back. Okay. So that sounds good, right? So pretty good feedback there too. I'll probably watch a detailed review on it somewhere and see for myself. I know some of you use DAS Trader Pro, but I have heard that DAS Trader Pro sometimes gets disconnected from the primary broker that you're using. Which to me sounds dangerous. That would be the same issue all over again with trying to get filled or trying to get out of a trade and can't get out. Momo, no, I'm not with Lightspeed. I'm using Thinkorswim, which is TD Ameritrade. Let's say their advanced platform, and then eTrade Pro, which is on the I'll pull it up the left side of the screen right here. This is eTrade Pro. If you guys check out, I'll post a link here. I'll post my setup video. Let's see. So anybody who's wondering what it looks like from my point of view, there's 3 monitors going across. I'll post the video here so you guys can get a look once I sign out and sign off. I am going to buy a traveling trading setup pretty soon, so there's actually a couple of setup videos. This is not the right one. Let's see. I think it's called New PC. Well, the setup video can work. This one will work pretty good. This one is from the old house. I'll redo this video one day, one of these good days. I'll post it in the Discord and the YouTube stream. Share my station. I'll give you. Okay, I got you. I'll give you the I'll give you the code. I actually have it here. I'll give you the link. Let me type it in. That's the good thing with Thinkorswim, by the way. So anybody who wants to trade my exact layout, with the daily 1 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute chart with the moving averages, and I think it even comes with the layout will include everything. So the scanners too. I'll share the layout with you guys. But I'm not sure if the hotkeys are also included. So you might want to check up the hotkeys. I have limit orders. Hotkeys to buy the ask, buy the bid, market of course, which is like my main one. I have sell the ask. I'm pretty sure sell the bid. I have all of them set up. I don't use some of them actually. Where is this link? There we go. Let me type it up. Let's see here. Sometimes I feel like I need glasses. I'm gonna forget semicolon. Here we go. TOS.mx/JJEG06J. Let me double check that. Okay, looks good. TOS EG06. Okay, it looks pretty good. 6J. So that there will give you my exact layout if you're using Thinkorswim, if you want to check it out. Yeah, right. And so the live stream, like the thumbnail for this live stream is exactly how the monitors look, right? Darnell posting the Discord. Yeah, so check out the Discord as well, guys, right? Thanks for that reminder there. Check out the Discord, which is our chat room. It's completely free, right? Available on iOS, Android, and PC. So check it out. Feel free to stop by and say hi. So once I'm done with the stream, if I come back, let's say 1, 2, 3 p.m., I'll be in the Discord calling out stocks. Sometimes we'll be in the audio only section there, talking strategies and that kind of a thing, or more call outs, things like that. I use OBS for screen recording. It's free. It's pretty good. It's actually not bad. OBS Studios. It's good for streaming. It's good for screen recording. It's not bad at all. I like it, and for free, it's pretty. I think it's pretty advanced, pretty good. A lot of YouTubers and people who are streaming on Twitch or Facebook, they'll use this platform. Am I green today? No, we're down today, down 220. It was a decent day. It was a good day, but not my best work. 211. We're down $211.25. We could have done slightly better. This will be one of the days when the month is over. I'll look back and say, could I have went this entire month without seeing a red day? If I have, let's say, a few more red days and they're like today, the answer is going to be yes. And November was the exact same situation where I was red 5 days, but I really could have been green the entire month. But it's the small things, man. The small differences. Make up $50 after commissions. Not bad at all, right? Way to hold it down for us here today. Green is always good. Ashley, right now, I am a full-time trader. Yesterday I mentioned considering going back to the 9 to 5 grind, but I mean, I don't know. I'll really have to think some more as to if it would make sense for what I'm trying to do, or if I just want to continue trading full-time. Trading has been going good. I trade primarily between, let's say, 9:30 and 11:30, and I'm usually here by 8:30, right? So it doesn't take up that much time when it comes to trading itself. I mean, there will be days where I kind of go into the afternoon or come back and take some more trades, but for the most part, it's the first 2 hours. And so besides YouTube, right? Besides YouTube, I could, when it comes to like time towards the rest of the day, right? I'm pretty sure I could go back and make some extra cash for the time being. But it's definitely going to cost in some way, right? When it comes to, we'll see. I more than likely am not going to do it, but it's a thought that came into my head though, right? Because I had this plan. It's like, okay, right now I'm like at this year so far I made 40 grand trading, but for the what I was trying to do, I would need to be at least at 60,000 per year, But I mean, we'll see as the trading continues to get better, as I'm using more size and I do transition to Lightspeed or one of the better brokers. Um, we'll see how it goes, right? And I might be at a broker, to be honest, when I do switch, that I can go short as well. I would love the opportunity to be able to short stocks, especially if it's pretty cheap or free. I would really enjoy that. My best day was 2,500 trading LEDS. There was 2 days of 20. It was close. I think 24 and 25, or maybe 24, 23, somewhere in that like ballpark, plus or minus. Dream big. My account size is over 25,000, so I'm over the PDT. That's all I tell people. I never say I never go close to it, just for security reasons. I'm over 25,000. I mean, I don't let my account get too big. I always take out cash every now and again. Like right now, I'll pay myself. It's one of the things that if I do go back to work, I wouldn't do as often as I'm doing now, right? Like what I realized is like, okay, if I am doing a 9 to 5 grind, I don't necessarily have to touch my trading cash at all unless I want to make a huge purchase of something, So it's a good way to save money fast, right? I mean, think about it. If I'm making $190 a day, and I don't ever have to touch my trading account, by the end of the year, whatever I make is what's basically sitting here in a sense, right? Unless I put it into a different bank account or something like that. But it's a faster way to save. If you have something that you want to do on the outside, which we all do, right? This year I'm up $40,000. You know what? I'll import, and we'll take a look at it. Give me 2 minutes here. Let's see. So, Thinkorswim. Let's check the calendar first. My last import was on December 3rd, so about 7 days ago. I'll have to import for the entire week here. I'm gonna have 2 red days this week. Down 109 and down 211 here, which is not bad, but not good either. I was asking myself last week if I can do at least 4 green days a week, but it's so hard, man. Let me import here. So from Monday to the 6th, we'll do from the 3rd just in case I took extra trades and I can't remember. I'll import from the 3rd, Friday. Export to file. Let's save that there. And then let's reset. For anybody who's using TraderView that might need some help importing your trades, I'll pull it over here. So we have all these tabs on the top section, right? You come over to the right hand side, import trades, and from there you select the file that you want to upload. So not too bad. I'll select those files quickly, and then as all my thumbnails are up here. Let's see, documents. There we go. I don't think I have any crazy files, but just in case. There we go. So all the trades going back to Friday of last week, we're gonna import, and then we're gonna check year to date. So there we go. We're good. 27 duplicates, which are going to come from Friday. So reports view, they filter and they don't add the duplicates, of course. January 1st, 2021. This is how it's been going. A good start to the year, and then April had a lot of red days. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad year to this point, but there's just so many days where it's like, man, I know I could have done better. It's like, how can I continue working to get to the point where I can finally sit back and trade a full day and say, let's say 70-80% of the times, yeah, that was a very solid day, instead of a day like today where it's like, man, I should have been green. So here we are. Details. We're at $43,261.57. Largest gain, single. What's this? Is this a single trade? I don't think so. I was uploading my metrics with a different setting, and so instead of tracking per execution, it was more of like an aggregate, and so this number might not be as accurate. But you guys saw we still had some pretty big days. Mondays this year, just I don't know. Hopefully we get a correction next Monday that's coming. Hopefully I make a big green day, right? If I can get my best day ever, maybe, to catch up a little bit, because Monday's been slacking off big time. And it seems like as the week go on, I'm getting better, which I have no idea why it's like that. If we go to last year, right, let's go to 2020. January 1st of 2020 to December of 2020. And by the way, 2020 I started trading in May, like basically May 1st. Very, very big difference, right? Wednesday I'm actually going to be red. Green Monday is not bad. And I'm good on Tuesday and Wednesday. Friday is the lowest day. Now, in December here, not December, in 2020, let's go back to September 30th. This is before I had my biggest red month, and since only red month since going live. If we go to September 30th, let's take a look at the days. Mondays was pretty solid before I had the pullback, right? I mean, you see that drawdown and how it's going to affect my stats a lot. I was up 17,000. I started trading in May 1st of 2020 officially. Between May 1st and September 30th, I'm going to make 17,000. I'm doing good. And then October comes along and just hits me hard. And my metrics kind of go down like crazy. But Mondays were pretty good, right? For the most part. Tuesdays was solid, my best day. So whenever people say, hey, I hate Wednesdays, I hate Fridays, for me, every day is just a different day with its own set of opportunities and challenges. Is it because today's Friday I'm red? I think the answer is no, right? The answer is definitely no. I just traded. I just saw what happened. I just witnessed everything. I just didn't trade super well today. So that's why I'm really red, right? So every day is a chance to go at it again, So when we include everything, all of our days, Thursday, since we started, is our best day. Thursdays we're gonna make 15,000. Friday is which one? Friday? No, Tuesday is gonna be number 2. Tuesday with 13,700 versus Friday. Very close second and third. See, if I was green today, Friday would have been the second best. But 13,656. Mondays and Wednesdays needs improvements. Both around 7,000. Most traders that I see, all of the bars are basically the same. So I got to get it together on these 2 days for sure. I just got to be more focused coming in after the weekend. And which is why I think studying Sunday is so good. There are some Sundays where I don't study, which is not good at all. So, got to keep the discipline, right? Keep the discipline. Know that putting in the work on Sunday evening is going to make me more prepared for Monday morning, right? But that's how it's looking. Since I've started, I'm at 57,000. Can we hit 100K by June of next year? It's a very ambitious goal, but it's possible. I'd need a couple $10,000 months. which I have yet to do. My best month so far has been 7,000 live, and in the sim, my best month was December 2019, where I did $8,000. We can actually look at that too. I have everything here. Let me log out and log into the sim. Let's see. Reports view 2019. So look at my sim. Look at my metrics here. Well, look at my calendar from the sim. You're gonna notice a lot more red days. This is 2019. You're gonna see a lot more red days overall. So it shows the improvements. And let me pull up the YouTube, by the way, here. I might be missing some questions. There we go. It shows like I got a little bit better. I mean, just look at the amount of red that's in each month. I was actually, let's check. Was I green in 2019? I think I was. I don't think, let's see, January 1st to, well, 2019, December 31st. Details, I was green, $11,637. This is not including commissions though, right? This is well, I guess I was red but back then I was red because commissions we would have gross versus net, right? Gross versus net P&L. So I was red until commissions went away, basically. And I remember in that transition period, I remember there was a month I was green. What was it, green 400 or red 400? One of the two. I think green 400. I think I was green 400. And it's like, how do I continue to improve to the point where I can be green with commissions? And I would have been, if commissions never went away, I'd have been a very different trader than I am now. I don't know if I would have been better or worse, but my next step was to, and this was the approach I was going to try, okay, bigger share size, fewer trades. That was my first approach. I was going to try that for a few months, and then if that didn't work, try a different approach, a different tactic to see how I can be green whilst, you know, trading with high commissions. Because Thinkorswim here, 795 in, 795 out, or was it 695? 695 in, 695 out, which means before you even take a trade, you're down $14. Might not seem like a lot, but look at today, right? Today we took, let's see, we took 14 trades, and we got in 14 times, and we got out 16 times because, no, 18, because two of the trades we unwinded the position, I believe. Let's see, triggered, okay, no, 17. So we'll do the math, right? Well, we'll keep it simple, right? $14 round trip. $14 round trip. Let's say times what was it? 12. Jesus Christ! I just counted it. 14 times 14. 14 times 14, basically. I would have paid $196 in commissions today. So $196 minus what I'm down is what would have been my let's enlarge this. So 196 and I'm down 211 plus 211. On a day like today, I'm down $407 if I'm paying commissions. So it's a huge difference with those high commissions, right? Now, if your commissions are a little bit cheaper, let's say $3, it's definitely not as bad. But you know, these high commissions are like 7, some places 10. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, some places I believe if you went to like $14 in, $14 out. I mean, just insane stuff. Momo, what's my daily goal? My daily goal is I don't really have a daily goal, to be honest. I have a number where I average on my green days, which is 185, 190. So I guess any day where I'm up or 190 or 185, I'm doing pretty good, right? So when we look at my overall metrics in the sim, when we look at every single trade that I made gross, I was up 23,000 despite all those big red days. Well, not big red days, but so many red days, right? We definitely can see the improvement over time. So this is me trading before going live, right? Before going live, January, February, March. Oh, what happened in March? Why was I not trading in March? I can't remember. It's been so long. I think I do remember me taking a month. I think I took a month. This is interesting. I think I took a month to just watch on to if this is how I remember it. Could be wrong, but I think I took a month to watch the market from the sidelines. Not many people would do something like that, but I think I think there was a problem going on at the time, but I also utilized the opportunity to use discipline. I don't remember exactly how the details, but it was me looking on at the market from the perspective of how a coach would look on to the game. Let's say a football match, basketball. The player has a different perspective from the coach, and from being a coach, can you learn something, right? Can you learn something new or different that you wouldn't have seen otherwise? So that was part of what this was. I think there was another issue going on at the time too. But trading here before going live, we had some red days in June before going live in May. But I also think when I went live, it was a matter of, hey, you know, I kind of like in my like mentally really sound coming in and building up, right? These red days that we're seeing here, this is priced adjustment. I'm not sure why it used to happen. You see how it says closed right here, CLDX. I'm not sure why that used to happen, but it would skew it would skew the P&L for the particular day. I think this day too, unless this was just a big red day. Closed. Okay, this was just a good size red day. Open 0, closed 78. I'm not sure what this is, but yeah. So we had some price adjustments, but for the most part, the trading was like very similar in some sense, right? We had some good sized green days. BLNK. Who remembers this stock? UONE and UONEK. This particular day, I'm down 184 on that stock, right? Reports view. So lots of trading, and really pushing hard to become better, right? I think these are some trades on E-Trade if we go all the way back to 2018. My metrics from trading on E-Trade, I'm pretty sure I have access to it. I probably could import that to this field here, or maybe I put it into a completely brand new trader view. My overall gains, so I'll switch back to the other account. Overall gains 57,000 in the other trader view account. This brings back memories though, man. It brings back a lot of memories. May, is this a price adjustment? Yes, I have no idea what these price adjustments were about. So you see how it says adjusted here, SPI. It's like on this particular day I didn't even trade SPI, but it's some weird issue with TraderView that was going on, or maybe the way how I was importing my trades to be down $3,800. Yeah, okay. My biggest loss was in May of 2019, I believe, or was it April? I think May. This is my biggest loss ever. This day, this man, this was a very tough time in my trading career. I think this is one of the biggest things I had to face. This right here is me being compromised mentally. I'll never forget it. I was this it's so funny, this story, man. This day, let's see, where did it start? It's hard to remember the details though. But Friday, I think it started on the 17th. I'm pretty sure it started on the 17th. But there was a Friday, right? I believe the 17th, May 2019, where my brother comes up to Jersey. He lives in Brooklyn, right? We're both trading in the living room, and it was a decent day. We're both green. The momentum slows down very drastically. It's like, okay, that's it, right? Actually, no, it might have been the 10th. One of these days, I don't know, one of these days, but one of those days, right? Not too important for the story, anyways. But I opt to go back and trade, and we spoke about it. He even came and was like, "Hey, you still trading? Like, how come the momentum is so slow? What are you doing?" And it's like me being a little stubborn. Like, why did I want to continue trading if there's nothing trading, nothing moving? What did I do? I went from green to red on that particular day. And it triggered something in my mind that, like, I think it was a stubbornness, a eagerness to try and make back money, revenge trading, like a bunch of different stuff that was going on in my head. And so it also happened that in this month I told myself, hey, I'm going to set a goal of X amount of money. And I think the goal for me was 5,000 at the time. And I'm trading. The first couple of days looks okay. It was it the first day? I can't remember. The first couple of days looks okay, right? And I'm like, okay, coming into week 2, let's see how much we can push and continue to go. Actually, let's see. It's hard to remember when it was. It seems like it happened early in the month, or maybe out of last month. I don't know, but I became compromised. I started increasing my size like crazy. Look at these losses. Look at these losses, right? These are losses for somebody who's using, like, let's say 3,000 share blocks, and that, or maybe let's say 25 3,000 share blocks, and you had a very rough day. It's like, all right, you had a bigger red day. My green days, look at my green days, $180. A few of them already. It's already a few green days compared to red days, right? 250, 190. And why is my red days that much bigger than my green days? This is called poor risk management. This is called me being mentally compromised, using huge size, and taking big losses quickly, right? Taking big losses quickly. And it had to come to a point where I'm like, I'm in the sim, right? This is me in the simulation here, right? It came to a point where I'm asking myself, how long are you going to let this drag on? Because subconsciously, I know what I'm doing is the opposite of what a good trader is supposed to be doing when it comes to risk management. It's like I'm trading big size, low volume, like whatever it could have took for me to be in the green a good amount. Desperation, grasping at straws. And it's a battle going on inside my mind of, you know what you should be doing, but you're doing this still, and you're getting yourself deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And so I had to like decompress, right? I had to like sit down and like actually meditate and think, like, if I'm gonna become successful in this field, I cannot go on like this. This cannot happen, right? This is how you blow up accounts. This is exactly how you blow up accounts. And so, you know, it was good that it happened to me in the sim, right? That I had the experience, this learning experience, this process in the sim and not live. But still, me treating the sim as real money, it was a devastating loss to the account. But when I came back to grips, I told myself, you know what? And we'll look at it, May 2019. I told myself, you know what? It's a terrible month, but it's such a small it's such a small blip in the grand scheme of time and what I'm trying to do as a trader. So for anybody who's going through a tough time, a tough situation, we all have to go through something, man. So you got to look forward to coming out on top, right? You got to look forward to coming out on top of the situation. My biggest red month ever, right, as a trader, down $4,766. And this kind of a month, I was red this amount from being emotional, unstable mentally when it comes to what a sound trader should be or should do, risk management. I mean, look at my percentages here. I mean, God. But and so this happened to me, and it's like when we talk about last year October, it's like, all right, I'm down 3,500 for a very different reason. I'm just trading terrible, not really compromised mentally. I'm just trading terrible, right? Okay, I've been red before, and for way worse reasons, right? It's like I've been red before for way worse reasons. Am I gonna let a month like October define who I am? If I'm red next year February 3,000, am I gonna let a month like that define my trading and who I want to be as a trader? The answer is no, man, no way. And so you dig deep. You have to rise up when your back is against the wall and you're in between that rock and that hard place. You have to elevate. Whether you meditate, you reach out for help from another trader, maybe somebody else you might know. There's different solutions to these problems, right? There's no one solution. But for me, I had to dig deep, and this goes back to just who I am. Even before trading, it's like, am I a failure or am I not? And what is it gonna be? What is it gonna be? Right? I had to ask myself those kinds of questions, and so you start to curl back up. No matter how big the loss is, once you can get back and you start to move slowly, you rebuild, and then you become better over time. And so this is why it's like everything is for a reason, but this is why I have a hard time in some situations being too aggressive, because I know I trust me, man, I had to learn the hard way as to what it means when we talk about what risk is. We always get caught up in, man, we could make so much money, we could be this green, we could be that green, we could be big in the green. But yeah, and whilst we can, there's always the other side of the trade every time. On every green trade, there's a losing trade. On every red trade, there's a losing trade, a winning trade. And so there's always the opposite and equal reaction depending on the amount of shares we take, how fast the stock goes up or down, whether you're short and you get caught in a squeeze, or you're long, you get caught in a flush. It's at the end of the day an exchange, and when I'm selling, somebody else is buying. When I'm buying, somebody else is selling me those shares. And for the person who let's say I buy 1,000 shares and somebody just sold 1,000 shares to me, was that person green or red in the trade they just exited and that I'm now taking on? Am I going to be green or red? And so it's always this back and forth. And it's why days like today, even, it's like you just have to bring your A game. It's so hard, man. It's like it's not a job where we're outside in the freezing cold, building a road, or it's not physically demanding, but it can be mentally draining. It can be stressful. It can be intense. I mean, we're using lots and lots of cash in these positions. I mean, and I know a lot of you think I use big size, right? But for the people who are really using a real size, and from what I feel big size is, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100,000 share positions. I mean, we start talking about millions of dollars of cash. tied up in trades, and you know, it sometimes could be an A quality setup. The trade still fails, and so we have to deal with the outcome. And so, digging deep, man, digging deep is the number one thing for me when it comes to having your back against the wall. I'm gonna get caught up here in the chat. So, if you're going through a tough month, you gotta stay strong. You gotta stay focused. You gotta stay dialed in, and know that there is better days ahead. Let's see. You guys talking about taxes? Am I still in the sim? No, I'm not still in the sim. This simulation here this account here is my old account from when I was trading in the simulator, right? I'll switch back. I'll log out and switch back here quickly to the live side. If you guys notice, my name my actual name is on this account, on the other account, versus this one saying Relentless-tj. So reports view, this is where we are now when we go to details. So from May 1st or so to today, May 1st of 2020 to today, this is where I'm at. I mean, much better. I mean, much better, right? Much better. Way less red days. We still have some months to work on. Like October, we had a couple of red days, right? And even year over year, right? When we look at 2020 versus today, not today, but 2021, it shows the improvements. And so 2022, when there's a new bubble here, can we look back to 2022 and say, yeah, improvements once again? Because that's what it's all about, right? And this is why I focus so much on the micro improvements, because you got to start small to get the big result, right? So this is why I try to put so much, I try to have a balance with it. I try to be hard on myself, but not too hard on myself when it comes to the standards that I have. If I'm too hard on myself, I become depressed or frustrated, or and it's not good for trading. But I still want to uphold a high standard to, okay, all right, and man, I have such a determination sometimes, because this October month right here, man, I just was shaking my head as to, all right, I will have my chance again, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna make sure I do not have these same mistakes. And so we talked yesterday about eliminating mistakes to eventually become a better trader. I mean, look at this month right here. This is just awful, right? But are we gonna let this define us, define who we are? What are we gonna do about this, right? What are we gonna do when this happens to any one of us? Wherever you are in your career, what are you gonna do? And so for me, it's always to rise up and show that I can be better. Not better than anyone else, but I can outdo my current self. I can put things in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. And this right here is not me being emotional. It's just me trading terrible. Me trying to scalp aggressively in a market where scalping is not working. I could have easily had no trade days. Or let's say I bring my share size down to 100 shares if that's what I needed to do, and have losses that are small, right? This is where and you could see the adjustment, right? Look at the last week in the month. Look at my losses. I'm still red, but I'm down 92, 24, 53, and then 100 versus 450, 193, 280, 550, 1000, 508, 4. It's like, why am I giving back so much profits if I don't need to? So this is why I'll be mentioning here and there, whenever this switch comes, whenever it slows down, I'll be watching carefully to make sure this does not happen again. If I have the first day as a big red day, it'll be the first sign, and then from there I drop down and take it slow, take it easy. And now, of course, with the trades off the lows, we should have a little bit more success in a slower period like that. You got to start somewhere. And I tell people this, like, I have no problem showing any of this metrics, man, because at the end of the day, we all got to start somewhere. There's nobody who's going to start trading and just be a genius right away. Maybe what we would have is beginner's luck, but your beginner's luck, if you don't know what you're doing, it isn't going to last. You're going to see red trades, red days. I've heard about this guy who made 250,000 and then gave it all back, and finally once he came back to like down 10,000 is when he actually finally got to that level of actually consistency, you know. So you'll hear a lot of podcasts, you know, we'll blow up accounts. We're paying our tuition, right? We're paying our tuition, we're finding our way, we're finding ourselves, but we got to continue to improve. That's the main thing, progress. Can you look back 5 months ago and see small differences in the ways you've improved, right? If we look at that timeline there between the two accounts, it's 4 years basically, going back to 2017, 2018. And I have my Robinhood metrics saved into Excel, but I lost access to that email, which is a little disappointing. But so I don't have those metrics available to show. But you know, it takes time, man. It takes time, a year, two. So if you're in your second month and you're not doing too well, you know, what you do have to do, right? The main thing, which is why the advice you hear around the community is that, hey, if you want to trade with real money, trade small size, because it's very unlikely, no matter how good we might think we are, it's very unlikely that you're that 1 in 1 million, let's say, 1 in 10,000, 1 in 1,000, who is just naturally gifted to just on the first month you're green, big green, and you just know exactly what you're doing. It takes time. You got to take baby steps. You know, there's people that'll trade with one share until they become consistent. Like, who is willing to be as disciplined as it takes, right? So you got to be disciplined. You got to really work hard towards doing it in the right way. You know, let's say if you're this type of a person, right? So let's say you have a $50 million account, right? Or let's say $50 million in your bank account, and you deposit 25,000 onto trading, and you mess up the account. Then, you know, because of your financial situation, 25,000 might not be that much money. That might be your kind of a, you know, money your risk money that you will trade with to actually gain the skill. And so, you know, if you lose 50 grand, let's say, before you finally become profitable over like 2 years, then that's pretty good. I feel like that's very reasonable, or even more money than that, because we talk 50 million, that's a lot of cash, right? I mean, even if you lose a $250,000 before you get consistent, it's also not a bad. When you look at what you have, it's not that bad when it comes to tuition, right? If you're using bigger size, once you size up eventually, right, you make that back in no time. So that's the key with trading, right? Is that we can lose a lot of money, but once we finally turn the corner, once we finally reach the top of the mountain, you start to make back everything you've lost at a very rapid pace, and then the growth can sometimes become exponential. When it took you 2 years to just become profitable, it might now take you 1 year to start to make 5 or 10,000 a year. I mean, we talk about it. If I take 5,000 shares on every single trade that I take every single day, I would make way more money, right? Let's say emotionally, I'm fine with that. I have a faster broker, you know, so you can scale. Once you reach the profitability, you can start to scale. So you can go from, 100 shares to 500, or even if it's a smaller increment, but, whatever you want to do, from 5 to 1,000, from 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000, 25. Before you know it, you're very comfortable taking 5,000 shares at a time over a few months or a year or two. And, once again, we talk about the exponential growth, right? Jay Hart, that's true. If you have whatever money you make it's over a limit. If you make over $8,000, the way how it works is like, the government, and let's say Uncle Sam, right, the IRS, they don't really care if you're not making a lot of money, right? I think that the threshold is 8,000. If you make over $8,000 in profits on short-term capital gains, which is what day trading basically is, you have to pay taxes. But let's say you don't for that first year, nobody will be after you, right? Nobody is really hunting you down for a couple $100 or maybe less than that. Because at the end of the day, we'll have write-offs, right? And so it needs to make sense for the IRS. It's like, hey, yeah, this guy made 10,000, but he's paying for insurance, he's paying for this, he's paying for that, an office space, whatever it is, expense. So it's like it's your break even. The IRS is break even anyways. They don't get anything to collect. But if you're making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, then of course you're gonna probably want to pay it sooner than later because they're gonna come for you eventually, right? So you pay on profits, but when it comes to wash sales and you talk about, hey, can you write off the trades that you've lost on versus the trades that you've made money on? They kind of just look at, hey, it was a short-term gain. When it comes to investing, they look at it differently. I think if you hold a position for more than a year, it's taxed differently. But for the short-term gains where you're in and out over a few days or weeks or within the same day or day trade, right? Whatever profits you make, that's what you get taxed on the end if it's over $8,000 to $10,000. From my understanding, and of course you want to consult professional advice to get the exacts, right? Like last year, I paid to the year end. So when I started in May, I paid to December 31st. And if we look back, you'll see since I had the big red month in October, I went from 17 to 14. I think I ended the year like at 16 when I recovered in December. So I basically paid a little bit on that. Yeah, we can't really write off too much. You need some good accountant. Like you got to get a good accountant though. And you want to get somebody who's good with trading and trade um, like the markets in general, right? Because some accountants might have a different specialty. Momo, I can't get into the details, man. I can't do it. I'll just I'll give you guys so for me you guys know how I am. I'll give a lot of information, but I can't give too much information at the same time. There's certain things I realize that you just it's better just not to do. So let's see. Oh, yeah. There's certain, like as the trader, there's certain things you could do to make things make sense when you look at tax brackets. Um, for example, if let's say I can't remember, I have this saved in my phone somewhere, but let's say there's a higher tax bracket if you make 99,000 versus 100,000, and it's the last week of December. If you're averaging a couple $100 a day, a couple $1,000 a day, and let's say the difference between 99,000 and below is, or let's say 100,000 and higher, right? Let's say the tax difference is like from let's say fifth, let's just calling numbers to call number sake. Let's say it goes from 15% to 25%. You might not want to trade over and make over 100,000. You might just want to lock up shop and take days off, right? Because in the end, you'll lose more money through taxes. So of course, you want to do for each individual. You want to be well informed as to what brackets you're looking at, all that good stuff, and see what makes the most sense. There's a lot of different ways as to how taxes are interpreted. Um, there's a lot of different things. I mean, there's a lot of different things. But even if you have debt, it plays a role. It's a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but you know, you definitely want to consult once again professional advice. Uh, Lost Air. Glad you found the Discord. Been trading for 2 years. We trade very similarly, which is good. So, you know, I to be honest, man, I watch a lot of YouTubers too. But sometimes I would have wished some of you guys would have YouTube channels because I know as my alarm is hitting there. Actually, well, oh, I gotta pick this guy up from school. Is what that is. But yeah, so I would have loved to see how some of you guys would trade, especially if you trade similar to me, because when you guys watch on and you know, especially in the recap, I feel like it's very clear. Even when I rewatch the video just for watching its sake, it's like, okay, I explained why I wanted to get long. I explained why the trade was a good trade or a bad trade. For other people trading similar styles, it would have been nice to get a different perspective as to what I could implement that might be better, new, or different to help me become a better overall well-rounded trader. So that's always good. But I do watch a lot of other guys though, Ross, some of the other traders, right? Um, but it's good to see everybody pushing forward, right? It's good to see. Darnell, you make a YouTube so I can watch you trade. I wouldn't mind, man. I wouldn't mind. I know we have some really good traders here. So you know. How much money did I lose before becoming profitable? That's not something I don't mind. I don't mind sharing that. Um, let's see. Let me log out and log back in the other one. The specifics of the numbers I wouldn't be able to remember off head, but you know. So let's go back. So I mean, it's a hard number to gauge because I don't have. Let's see if I have this tab. There used to be a tab that shows gross versus net, and we don't really see it. But what I would have to do is go back and include commissions into the trade. See how many trades I took per each day, which I definitely wouldn't be able to do. But I was definitely red net, right? When I include commissions after my trades, I was red. Up until like the very last moments of commissions going away. I think it was October or November, the third of one of these months in 2019. December, one of my better months. Once again, this month here was my best month ever. But November, I believe November 3rd, was it? No. So October 3rd. I think October 3rd. Yeah. This day, I believe, is when commissions went away. But I still traded in the sim for a few more months, as you guys can see, up until I got my account ready. So some more months of practice. Trading, man, it's always so crazy. It's like you go from a subpar month, you know, a lot of subpar months to one of your best months ever, and still my best month to this day, December of 2019. I mean, I believe the market was just on fire. I mean, the scalp trades were bussing through the gym, jumping out the gym. What did I put? 2020. I'll shut it down soon within the next like 5-10 minutes. See, so this is what it was: 1,600, 1,000, 699, and this is why, like, a lot of you guys will tell me you're seeing me do bigger numbers now. Like, let's check something here. Once my metrics was getting imported differently, right? Don't forget that. But I mean, this was just a this was just an excellent month. I mean, for this that type of time, this long ago, I mean, it was excellent, right? Average daily volume at 27,000, which means I wasn't using that much more volume than I do now, right? But overall, though, I did reduce my volume, my share size a lot since this day and age, right? Now I'm a more efficient trader overall when it comes to using less size and having these type of gains. But this was pretty good. ONCY, MREO, SLNO, SAVA, SAVA, PRPO, CIFS. Some of you will remember these names. So it wasn't quite 8,000. 7,963. Not quite the $8,000 month. And I had a $7,000 month in July of 2020. I mean, not bad. Look at the difference. Look at this here. Look at this. This is the biggest difference now in how one of the biggest difference in how I trade now versus then. 25 million shares of volume and over. Look at this. Only $762. Let me pull up TraderView in another tab here. Let's hope it doesn't sign me out if I use let's see. Let's hope it doesn't sign me out. Can I sign into both? Reports view. Clear that. Let's go to last month, which is November. Right? Let's go back. November 1st to November 30th. Filter. Details. Look at this right here, right? Where is it? Performance by instrument. Instrument. There we go. So look at this. Look at the difference here, right? So look at me. Look at my trading now, and look at my trading back then. When it comes to this particular metric, performance by volume on the stock, it was much more diverse. When it comes to, hey, a stock has 3 million shares of volume, I can back in this time, if a stock had more than 600,000 shares, I would attempt to take trades. Never, not even today. In today's trading, I wouldn't even dare get close to a stock that has less than like 4 or 5 million shares. And it's been in this way where by the time at the open I'm trading a stock off the watch list, it already has like 15, 20 million shares of volume pre-market, or maybe 10 million. So when you look at, hey, back in 2019, I'm trading, all these different amount of volume on the stock. Now it's literally one category alone. Isn't that weird, right? It shows, what this shows is that it's like a subtle change in the market that we don't even realize. But there's a lot more volume now than they were before. There's stocks, I mean, we've seen a stock do like 900 million shares in a day. I think GNUS, if we go back, right? So there's a huge difference with how the trading kind of looks and works in today's world versus, a few years ago, right? And let's see if we do, let's clear everything out. Yeah, so it definitely shows here, right? Versus if we come over and we clear everything out here, all right? Did it update? Yes, it did, unfortunately. So I'll have to use an incognito tab. Okay, I can do that. I remember my password. Give me 1 sec. I'll use an incognito window. Let's see. I knew as soon as I refreshed the page. So let's see. Hold on, give me a sec. Okay, here we go. And it's not gonna merge. All right, but we can click back and forth on and off. So reports view, well, detailed and instrument. Once again, so before I went live, majority of my profits was coming on stocks with 10 to 25 million shares of volume. Between 5 and 9, I had a good amount, 7,000 between stocks on 5 and 9. Between 2.5 and 5, 3,000. And we can see the lighter the volume went, the worse I was kind of doing. So between 1 and 2.5, but I would still take trades or attempt trades with these light amount of volume in the stock. But now we see the huge difference of just high volume stocks only. So, it shows a shift. It shows a bit of a change. I think it was a turn for the best, right? LEDS, my best stock ever, $2,800. Well, $2,900, not bad at all. What's the one we traded today? ISGC, is it? Well, ISIG. There we go. ISIG is gonna hit. It's gonna make the list and hit $1,082. Not bad. MTP, LGVN, XTNT, SOS, BTX. I think this was the one that went to $52. EXPR, BTBT, Lizzie, JSPR, which I should have been green on, $1,000, but unfortunately. So I'm gonna end it there. It's been going on for a while, the stream. So I'm gonna shut it down. I'm not even watching I'm not even looking at the comments here. So I'm gonna shut it down. That's it, guys. If you're watching on and just hanging out, right, take it easy, stay safe, stay green. If you are gonna go to distance, continue to trade smart, continue to trade setups. It's been a red day here, but we'll be back Monday morning, looking to improve, looking to bring our A game. So if you're watching on YouTube and you have not hit that thumbs up button yet, be sure to do so. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing and turn on the notification, right, so you guys will know when I go live on Monday morning, which will be around 9:15 a.m. I'll talk about the watch list and get right into it. So until then, I'll catch you guys in the recap. The recaps, man. I've been trying to do it a little bit better, but I've been having this issue of the upload time, which took 5 hours yesterday, which is why I couldn't upload it earlier. So I think today I'll do a regular recap, and for Monday I try to adjust so I can have it earlier, or I'll edit it in a different way maybe so it doesn't take so long. But until then, I'll catch you guys. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe. Sky Guy, Momo. I'm going to head out. I'm going to catch you guys on Monday. John, Ray, Benson, everybody else who might still be tuning in here. Shane, Darnell, Steve. Take it easy, guys. David, thanks for tuning in. It's been a good day in the markets. It's been Relentless Trader for those of you in the Discord. Likewise, Fire Trader. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe, stay green. It's been RT. And I am, of course, signing. I didn't mean to click on that. Signing out. Take it easy, guys.